everything.
Going live. Going live. It's there. It is. Going live. All right. So, hello. Welcome to Main Chat Nerd Night. Jumping right into an extremely brief recap, courtesy of Prudence. More or less, the group went off to the capital city of Pitchfield on advice of another to try and find an individual by the name of Nald. They found him, but it turned out he was petrified for reasons unknown as of yet. On their way back to deliver this information to the Lord of Fandalo, they met back up with a couple of their allies, went to a wizard by the name of Savelis, who had said that he had a package for them that had been delivered to him in an attempt to get to them. It ended up being a scroll of Planeshift with a specific destination in mind. Pre-programmed, rather. While this was going on, Rurik went off to the Temple of Pelor to seek information about various locations and various entities that they had been that they'd come in contact with, and discovered the layer of the abyss called Andralin, which was one of the very few leads that they had in discovering the cause of this petrification. They learned a little bit about that, and Prudence and Hoyd learned a little. Well, Prudence mostly learned a little bit about Hoyd in a conversation at Savelis' tower. They learned a little bit about Hoyd's backstory. As we were leaving off last session, we were, I feel, just coming to a close of that conversation. So do either of you want to do anything before leaving Savelis' tower?
Before we leave, I would like to ask Savelis a quick question.
I believe you've already left, actually.
Oh, have we left? Oh.
I would like to continue train of thought out his door.
Yeah, everybody has left except Prudence and Hoyd at this point.
Okay, it's not a big deal then.
You could always have a sudden realization and double back.
Nah.
Of note, you guys, when Shigun and Rurik left, Hoyd had made no indication that he was going to stay behind. And Prudence stayed behind because Hoyd stayed behind, so at this point, you would have noticed that they're not following you. Prudence, you would like to ask Savelis, there's only one S at the end of his name, but you would like to ask Savelis about spell components. What specifically of the spell components would you like to ask? Yeah, it turns out that he's secretly just a Gith. No, sorry, Yuan-Ti.
I thought it was Yanti.
I don't know, man. That's another one of those words that I've only ever seen spelled.
I've heard it pronounced 1T. But, I mean, I don't know.
No, it's One Piece.
That's, no. We're gonna get demonetized.
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Prudence says, hey, I'm advanced in my wizard career. Do you have any advice on capable jewelers that can help me with conjuration, divination, and similar spells that require high-quality components, rather than escape with the ridiculous amounts of money or resources I've given them? Savelis thinks for a moment, and he says, well, there are a number of components that I keep for myself. There are a number of jewelers throughout the city that would most certainly be able to provide such materials? Are there any specific jewels you're looking for? There's one nearby that specializes in semi-rare gemstones, garnets, and so on. There's one towards the center of the city, toward the Lawmaster's office, that specializes more in diamonds and other hard gems. Prudence, you take the skull in your backpack. Is that
Prudence, who was that?
Was that Raccoon's skull? Or what skull is that?
A rather specific request.
Okay, was it just one of the ones you picked up randomly during one of the combats? I guess my question is it a human skull, or is it a skull of one of the creatures that you've come across? As Prudence says, I would like to encase that in gold. 300 gold coins worth of it. So it's a human skull. Okay. Savelis smirks a little bit and says, well, if you'd like to have something cast in metal, I can think of a number of metal workers that might be able to help you. I don't know if it'll necessarily be... You'll have to find and perhaps convince someone to do it. Not many around here like to handle human remains. But, I don't see why not. The jeweler I spoke of before that specialized in the semi-rare gemstones, he's actually right near here. And, he does some casting. I don't know if he has anything large enough for that particular need, but it might be something that he can do. Prudence says, alright, any expert metallurgists around? I have requests of a similar scale. Savelis comes back and thinks, I've not had need of metallurgy specifically in quite some time. Most spell components I'm able to acquire or create on my own, but he stops and thinks. There may be one that may be of use to you in Fandalo. There's a workshop near the castle, I think, that may be able to give you what you need. Or, of course, you could go to Dairen, the jeweler I spoke of earlier. If he's willing, and if he has a large enough caster, you might be able to convince him to cover this object in gold. Prudence says, that's a great idea. I could pay you to create spell components for me, if you have the time. And, Savelis kind of, like, pinches the bridge of his nose. He says, very well. I can't work with this material, but if there's something else that you might need, I may be able to acquire it for you. I do, with recent news, I now, unfortunately, find my free time dwindling. So I'm not sure how quickly I may be able to satisfy these requests. Princess, you're so kind. I have no requests for now. Hoyt, are you doing anything while this back and forth is going on?
No, I said I'd follow the train of thought and leave.
Okay, so
I don't remember what I was talking about.
Okay. So if you've already left, Prudence, you go and you leave as well, and you both catch up with the. You catch up. So you exit just as Rurik and Shigun get back, looking for you.
Y'all okay in there? type thing.
Yes. Sorry, Hoyd and I had more things to discuss in the last minute. We can be on our way now, says Prudence.
I had a few loose ends to tie up.
All right. Where was Zook?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, has anyone seen Zook?
I think he went to the tavern to carouse.
Ah, I see. Well, I don't think we should linger in town for too long, since we need to get back to Larasa as soon as possible.
I am inclined to agree.
All in favor of not finding him?
Well, I mean, of course we're going to find him.
We can't just leave him behind.
Remember, he's my court jester for our alibi.
But you're a knight. You don't need an alibi.
He can come in handy, you never know. God, you're a bad influence. You're starting to rub off on me.
Oh no.
Oh no, how horrible.
Ah, yes. Well, I won't say no to pit stuff either way. Let's go find him.
Okay, so you guys head off to find Zook.
What time of day is it?
It's getting to the late afternoon, early evening. You guys arrived in town in the mid morning or so, and then did all of your stuff. So you've spent a very good amount of time here already, so it's getting toward the evening time.
Perhaps we should stay the night then, since it appears the sun is setting.
Prudence says, "Well, I need to make more money. While our current business is occupying all of our time, my resource requirements keep going up."
Let's see.
What could you possibly need even more money for? What are you doing?
What do you need money for?
Prudence says, "Well, for example," he takes out his notebook.
Oh no, he has a ledger.
Fantastic. Can you walk and read at the same time? Let's go find Zook.
He flips open a page, and there's a somewhat detailed sketch of what appears to be a silvered mirror of some kind.
When did you sketch that?
I recently learned of a spell that allows you to scry distant objects with great clarity.
Does it work on people or just objects?
And Prudence says in response to Hoyd, "At night."
I see. Or rather, you see.
Well, I guess it depends on who's using the spell, doesn't it?
Well, at least one of you has dark vision.
Actually, you're the only one of us without dark vision.
Prudence says, "It works on people specifically,
Right.
but there's another one that works on objects."
Are there ways of detecting if somebody's using it against you? Like if my party members are walking?
Prudence says, "No."
You know, I just had a thought. It might not be a bad idea to check on Larasa and make sure she's actually still in Darnek. I know she said that she would linger there for some time, but I would hate to get all the way out there and find out that she's in this town.
I have sent her a couple of messages and gotten responses back that, I've received yet no response that would indicate that she wouldn't be in Darnek.
Oh, well then there we go.
Prudence says, "This spell requires a silver mirror inlaid with valuable gems. Should be worth around 1,000 gold coins."
Let's see.
We could go find some more bullets. 1,000 gold coins. 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 1,000
That means we have to find out about who wants to meet.
Oh, by
I
the
don't
way,
think he wants anymore.
by the way, in the heat of the moment, while we were doing that, I misread what the actual value of those things are. So, I think I gave you. I think. Why am I blanking on her name? Elaine. I think she gave you around 1,700, something like that. Add another 500 on top of that is what she actually would have offered. I did a little bit more digging, so I apologize for that.
So we got shortchanged. I was expecting you to say that you've added a 0 by accident or something.
No, you look in your pouch and suddenly there are more coins.
Well, there you go, Prudence. I think that solves your money problem.
Probably not as nicely as they would like.
Prudence he smiles and says, "Not even close."
So besides the mirror, what else are you trying to fund? Just 1,000 gold. Not
By the
that
way,
hard.
guys, I assume, are you walking and talking? Are you going somewhere? Okay. you
Just
guys.
milling about the main city while doing nothing else.
Okay, you're going to find
Yeah,
Zook. Zook,
yeah,
did you tell them specifically where you'd be, or did you just mention that you were going to be taverning and head off? I don't recall.
I assume I mentioned what specific place I would end up bunking down at. Because that's probably
Okay.
going to be the place that we all stay the night.
That will be... Let's see. Do I have the name of the place that you stayed at written? I should have.
If nothing else, I could
I don't.
do something and just simply ask Zook where he is. Full balance.
Somewhere that's
Oh, that's right. It was the the Maroon Mansion. That's right.
That's it.
somewhere that's fancy but not snobbish about it.
So
Is
the
where
Maroon-
Zook would have picked.
So the Maroon
So
Mansion.
Okay, yeah.
They appear snobby, but there's a lot of things going on in there. So
I mean,
Velvet Room and
far as I'm concerned,
Room
they only appear snobby to turn away people like Hoyd, which I don't mind.
But that won't work on Hoyd. We know that.
well, you know.
Hoyd goes
Well,
where
I'm
Hoyd
not
will.
saying I trust them to make sure that Hoyd doesn't come into the building. It's just a vibe about them, you know?
Sure. So you guys are making your way over to the Maroon Mansion, which it's more in the sort of downhill southern portion of the city. And you make it there without incident. Bren is at peace at the moment. So you approach the Maroon Mansion, you recognize
We haven't been here long enough.
Wait, I thought we were in Ford's End.
What's up?
I thought we were in Ford's End.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're in Ford's End. The Maroon Mansion was in Bren. The fuck am I going on about? No, the Maroon Mansion was in Bren. Ford's End
It's a
has...
franchise. They have multiple
It's a
locations.
franchise.
Yes, it's a franchise. No, I am sure I have it written down what the name of the place is. If nothing else, Hoyd, I know they're in your DMs because you were asking about them.
Ember,
Let's see.
what papers would you grab if you wanted to look up what taverns are in Ford's End?
What do you mean by
I
what
got it. Hold
papers would you grab?
Pretend I asked you, hey, what taverns are in Ford's End? What kind of places are there?
There's two taverns, the Orm's Respite and the Laughing Hag.
Yes. I've literally just found the page. Yes, there's the Ormond's Respite, which is the one that you stayed at before. Amara was there, the one that did not take Hoyd's shit. And that was
I'm going
one,
there.
That was the one out toward the docks, and then the other one is the Laughing Hag, which has no meals. It's literally just a bar with a few rooms in the upstairs.
I'm staying in the Ormond's Respite.
Okay, so you go to the Oarsman's Respite, and you
Love that place.
are drinking. Are you guys staying for the? You planning to stay for the night there?
I would prefer to keep going if possible, but if Prudence has a need of attempting to make money, then I don't mind staying around for another night.
At this point, it is now definitively toward the evening.
We can stay in the Orange Respite.
Sun's getting real low.
Oh, I see.
Well, the way I see it is we'll have to stop to make camp regardless, and if it's already getting nighttime, we might as well stay here.
Fair enough.
Okay. So if you recall, the rooms are, well, there's an hourly rate, but there's also, it's a gold piece for a night, and each room can comfortably hold 2 people. Ale at this establishment is free with the room, and a meal for the evening is 4 silver pieces each.
I heard free ale.
That's right.
Yes, so you pay a gold for the room, and ale comes free with the room.
Excellent.
I think we're getting Shigun loaded on Bad Bath.
I'm a happy dwarf.
Do what? Do what, Lloyd?
Oh, we're getting Rurik loaded on Bad Bath. That's what we're doing.
Are we gonna do like the regrouping scene?
So you guys heading back?
Or
to
like
the
they find me?
Oarsman's- Are you guys heading to the back to the Oarsman's Respite?
Yee.
All right. So you make your way back to the Oarsman's Respite. I just noticed one of my D8s is not symmetrical. Anyway, you head back to the Oarsman's Respite. So Zook, are you doing anything in particular there? Are you performing? Are you sneaking? What are you doing? Anything while you're there?
By this point in the night, I'm just like sitting at the bar, you know.
Okay.
Finishing up like whatever, finishing up the most colorful drink they have on the menu.
Okay. The most colorful drink would be it's called a gelatinous peacock. It's actually like a Jello-like type. It's like a Jello shot almost, and it has this sort of rainbow sort of appearance to it. And you can see when you order it, Amara winks to you and slides it across the table to you. And as she does so, you watch as the colors shift and become more vibrant. As she casts thaumaturgy on it.
The lava lamp.
Drink a lava lamp.
Yeah,
I'm tipping to that one.
And these colors, they change over time, and it's very clearly an effect. There's no difference in the taste between the different color segments, but so the rest of you make your way back to the Oarsman's Respite, and coming in, the establishment itself is moderately sized. There aren't an incredible amount of people in there at this time. You can see a number of individuals wearing traveler's gear. You spot a couple of people who are very clearly of the water, maybe oarsmen, perhaps. Oarsmen, there's no S. And you spot Zook sort of at one corner of the bar, in his little booster seat. No, I'm kidding. With his colorful drink.
What do they have on the menu for tonight?
Oh God. So the meals that are available this evening. You approach the bar and Amara glances at Hoyd and kind of rolls her eyes, and as you address her, she says,
It's fine, I'll keep him out of trouble for you.
Good. You'd better. Well, since the attack, I guess, on the capital, the trade of meat has been sort of drying
Oh, hey, you're back! You're back! You guys are back! I was worried something had happened.
Don't interrupt the nice lady. I playfully pat him on the head.
Okay. And Amar says, "Is he your kid? Oh God, is he old enough?"
No, he's my court jester.
Stop.
And you
Stop. I told you not to do that.
and as you do that, you can see Amara lean back slightly, and she flicks her fingers. And as you speak out in annoyance, your voice suddenly booms out across the entirety of the tavern, and everyone kind of stops and looks over. And Amara says, "Go back to your drinks." Prudence kind of absentmindedly just says, "Nice to see you, Zook." And he's just like keeps mumbling under his breath.
This could have gone better. Anyway, were you busy? I'll leave you to your orders.
So, what are you having tonight? You staying? You going? You want some drinks? Want some food?
All the above, I think.
Excellent. Well, it'll be a gold.
We both be staying and going.
Shut up, you know what I mean.
Well, what you do in the rooms is none of my business. Just make sure we can clean it up after. This will be an hourly rate or for the whole evening?
We'll be staying the night.
Excellent. That'll be a gold a room. As sort of this is going on, Prudence says, "You know, while I have all of you together, sorry, I fucked up your accent.
Listening to you do British is adorable.
Well, so while Prudence is talking, let's conclude this transaction. Or Prudence is typing, rather. Let's conclude this transaction.
I'm gonna slide 2 gold across the bar.
Thank you very much, sir.
Just, helping. Doesn't mean we'll get 2 rooms. If you want to pay for any more rooms, that's fine, but,
All right.
figured I'd help.
She kind of sighs and turns and looks over to Hoyd. Usual?
If you wouldn't mind.
She reaches under the bar and she pulls up the bottle of Northern Red, and she says, "You still owe me for last time. Have you got it this time?"
There you go. It's right on the counter.
No, that's not what that's for.
What exactly are you paying for?
Taking
I'm paying
advantage
for
of
tonight's rooms.
taking advantage of your friends, Hoyd.
How long have you known me?
I'm paying
True.
for 2 of our 3 rooms.
I've known you for 2
You
months.
have to pay for your own room.
Hoyd.
Is that not long enough?
Prudence says, "We should go find a young dragon to hunt. They probably have a lot of money, and they're evil, so no one will mind, and if they're not old enough, they might not know how to fight back." Okay, Shigun, so you pay for the remaining.
You know that went pear-shaped last time we tried it.
Last time we tried what?
I thought it went rather well.
I don't recall the last time we tried to hunt a dragon.
You
Prudence
don't
says,
remember the tree?
We did never try it before.
Those weren't dragons.
They're small, he's small.
Technically,
The
they're.
perspective.
Let me look up what they are actually. I don't remember what type of creature they're classified as.
What was the bartender's name again?
Jaculus.
Amara?
JJK.
Amara? Something like that.
Jaculi are technically small dragons.
Huh, how about that?
The bartender's name is Amara, right?
Amara, yes. Prudence says those weren't dragons, silly. They were just big lizards.
Kamara,
Well, I'm not
Bottle.
fond of the memory.
So do you pay Amara
So let's-
the two
let's
golds
not.
you owe her?
oh, give me a minute.
Oh, he's thinking about it.
Prudence says you'll be fond of the money though.
Amara, how much does Hoyd owe you?
Oh, well, how much does he owe me in money, or how much does he owe me?
Oh, I see
He
how
owes
it is.
he owes me for the last time he came here. If you recall, he paid me for the previous time, so he still owes me for last time. It's a gold for the bottle. He owes me a gold for this one, and he owes me a gold for the last one. As she goes and uncorks the bottle and sets it in front of Hoyd. No glass.
I kind of slowly look toward Hoyd as if to ask him, "Are you gonna pay or not?" I'm just kind of looking.
He
at
can
him.
afford it.
Give me a sec.
Your friend says you can afford it. Yeah, he's sorry. The player is busy, so we'll pick up that interaction in a second.
Yeah, I'm just kind of giving him a funny look.
Yeah, you guys should go initiate combat.
Prudence. We're not gonna hunt any baby dragons, okay? Not on my watch. I'm not participating in that. Okay? If you wanna, split up and, just go on some reckless trek by yourself, then fine. I suppose you're allowed to do that. But I'm not coming.
Oh, I gotta get a different book out for this now. Let's see.
I don't care about your
Princess-
technicalities right now.
Prudence says, we're not going to hunt baby dragons. That's cruel. We'll hunt juveniles, and only the colored ones. No metallic dragons.
Why colored ones?
Colored ones are evil.
Oh god,
Listen, I don't
this
know.
can go sideways very easily.
Haha, fantasy tropes.
Wait, are there seriously no dragons in this book? I thought there were. Shit.
Wow,
I
Dungeons
grabbed
and
the
Dragons
wrong book. No.
I warned you not to pick up Dungeons and Dungeons.
I got a number of interesting new supplements. And the one I happened to pick was the one I thought had the dragons I was looking for in it, but it doesn't.
Dungeons and Doggos. So far, it's just been Dungeons and Demons.
Yeah.
Oh, right. This is the one I was looking for. Okay.
I mean, I'm not particularly opposed to hunting something that is, as you say, evil, and will help you get what you need.
Prudence
But I
says,
don't know
okay.
the first thing about dragons.
Okay, we don't have to hunt dragons if you don't want to, Zook, but I still need a lot of money to perform a good job as a wizard, so I'm open to suggestions. Here it is. I found the dragon I was looking for.
Well, if we meet with Lorasa, perhaps we might be able to find leads for you to perform more work or something else that might benefit us.
Well, I'm not the hunting sort of gnome, so...
It may not necessarily be dragons, but I mean, if we go to the crap, what's the name of the city that we're trying to go to eventually? That Lorasa mentioned.
Darnak?
No.
Oh, Dullstrand.
Dullstrand. That's it. Thank you.
Didn't we find a bounty board?
Weren't we on a mission?
No, that doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
We are on a mission. Yes, we're going to meet up with Lorasa, and maybe we'll find something there after the fact.
Prudence says, that's fair. Let's do that then. First thing tomorrow.
And yes, there was a bounty board a while back. I think I might still have some of those wanted posters actually.
Yes, you picked up some wanted
Oh, right,
posters
you
on
did
your
pick
way
up
through...
Yeah, I just forgot about it.
I think you picked them up on the way through Bran, I want to say? Or was it Fendalo? I think it was
It
in
was
Fendalo.
one of the. I think it was. Wasn't it related to the something to do with like the prisoners or something that may or may not
That's
be
right.
shady?
Yeah, you saw the wanted posters of a number of prisoners from the prison. From the Hestmark prison. So that would have been in Fendalo, yeah.
Were they escaped prisoners or?
Yeah, one of the offenses was jailbreaking. Mentioned
Right,
on the
okay.
poster.
And besides, if I know these jobs, and I reckon I do, Lorasa will have a handsome reward waiting for us when we get back with the documents.
Not gonna happen on it. Anyway, Boyd, I was trying to figure out exactly how much it was that you owed Amara.
I'll settle up.
so you'll take care of it.
Besides, what do you have on the menu? I'll be here for a little while.
Well, as I mentioned, the market for meat, unfortunately, has taken a little bit of a downturn since the attack. The shipping lanes had to shut down temporarily, and they haven't quite recovered yet. But we do have a number of... well, we have some smoked meats. We have some smoked pork and so on that we can probably supplement some of our other dishes. More or less, they have meals that are at a... I don't remember the name of the level. They're satisfying. They'll basically cover you for the day, and they're not that expensive.
As long as it's hot, I don't mind.
Find what I'm looking for.
Well, I will have... Do you have any steaks?
No. We have beef. We have preserved beef.
How old is this preserved beef?
Also, as an aside,
comfortable is what it's called. Part of the lifestyle expenses.
Okay.
as an aside, I've decided, in fact, not to tip after the barkeep mistook me for a child.
She was just joshing you.
Well, it's not funny.
Okay.
I'm just in a sour mood right now.
So the meal.
Drink?
The meal is 4 silver pieces. Your wine costs money, but ale does not. Prudence or Zook's drink, he already paid for.
Yeah. I return to my drink.
Okay, so each of you who gets a meal, that's 4 silver pieces for the meal.
I shall partake.
I will give her a gold piece.
I'll get a meal.
She says, "So you paid me back for last time."
You'll get what's due.
I'd better, if what your friends are saying is true.
What are my friends saying?
Pay your blasted tab is what your friends are saying.
She kind of just motions over to Zook.
How full is that bottle?
The bottle is new. It's a fresh bottle. She had just uncorked it in front of you.
Okay. I will do my best to finish it.
Okay. It takes you a bit, but you're determined enough.
What are you?
What's your Constitution score? This is one of the very few times when it matters.
16.
16. All right. This would be red wine in a half elf's body. You're feeling it. You're not as bad as a human would be under the circumstances, given your constitution, given your not constitution, but your specific physiology. But you're feeling it.
You hanging in there, Hoy? That's a lot in one sitting.
And you slide the bottle back across. You see Amara kind of goes to pick it up and then immediately sets it back down and says, "You serious?"
Do I keep my word? Eventually.
Fair enough. She slides the bottle off the back end of the bar and she sets it away. Make sure you mark that off.
What are you even doing?
He's flirting.
Yes, but was it really necessary to drink the whole bottle?
Yes.
Oh, trust me, if he were flirting, he wouldn't still be here. And as she says that, you see her eyes shifting color from they were sort of this almost a black but like a very deep brown. Her eyes shift in color to a bright red and shift back as she casts
I snuck onto my line.
Y'all are weird.
Have you never flirted before, Zook?
What? No. Why?
Don't take advice from him. Don't take advice from him. Trust me. It doesn't work.
Well, he's handy in a fight, at least.
I
I'll
don't
give him that.
plan to. Anyway,
Alrighty, so do you guys wrap up for the evening and go take your rest in your room?
so I never got round to asking, what did end up happening in that tower?
Prudence was asking about spell components, and we discovered a scroll from his mentor. Clever spell.
I also learned a fair bit about the Androlan plane.
Did Zook did Hoyd cause any trouble? I specifically asked someone else who isn't Hoyd.
He was on his best behavior.
That's good to hear.
Well, although we did leave and Hoyd and Prudence hung around for a few minutes, but we didn't hear any explosions or screaming, so I think it's okay.
And they're both still alive, so
Yeah.
I suppose it went all right.
Alrighty, and at this point, Amaro's walked off and had to, handle other patrons.
Look, I've got no more business for today.
Are any of them giving her trouble?
Are you keeping an eye out for it specifically?
Mhm.
Okay. Make a perception check. Just to hear and to see.
$17.
There's one patron that kind of gives her a little bit of shit about the cost of things, about the cost of a room for the night. He sort of says, he says, I bet there's a reason that you have those nightly rates, huh? And she just kind of gives him a look.
Amara, is this gentleman bothering?
You head over there and walk up. Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear your response. Do you walk up? Or do you call out
yes, I
where
do.
you're sitting? Okay. So you walk up. You can see the guy, he's a clearly a laborer of some sort. You can see a fairly tattered shirt. Hang on. There we go. So he's got like a tattered shirt on, some simple slacks. He's got like a leather apron of some kind in the front. He's a big guy. Probably would stand at least a foot. Probably a foot and a half taller than you. And he turns and he says, "What's it to you?" And Amara just kind of rolls her eyes and says, "No, I can handle myself."
I suggest we take this outside.
Hoyd.
Oh, for God's sake.
not-
I cast suggestion on him.
You cast a suggestion on him. Okay. Alright, let me get out the stats for this character.
Oh boy. I'm assuming that we see this happening since Hoyd got up and walked over, right?
Yeah, I mean, I assume you didn't make any attempt to hide what you were doing.
No.
Of course not.
No, I didn't think so.
Caught a whole bottle of wine.
Okay. So, suggestion is a what? What's your spell save DC and what's the save?
It is a wisdom 15.
15? That is a 12. So you cast the suggestion is take it outside.
I suggest we take this outside.
He kind of slams a
Okay,
hand.
what the absolute bloody fuck are you doing, Hoyd?
He slams a hand down.
I
on the
ready my
table
bow.
On the. You take out a weapon in the bar.
Me?
I mean, I don't put an arrow in it, but I just make a show of holding it.
Okay.
Because, I'm seriously upset right now.
You pull out your bow as you shout across the bar, And Amara says, hey, not in here. And the man kind of slams his hand down on the bar as your suggestion takes hold. And he stands up, and as I said, he's about a foot and a half taller than you. He kind of cracks his neck to one side. Says, alright, fine then. And starts
I'm gonna
walking.
put my bow back, actually.
And he starts
Manners?
walking outside.
Are you going to tip the lady?
This would be after the effect of suggestion. So
It will.
He actually ignores you and keeps walking out.
Even better.
Boyd, won't you follow him?
I will be but a minute. And I follow right outside.
At least he's not a
Okay.
coward.
You follow him straight out. Let me get.
I'm going to follow Hoyt as well to make sure he doesn't randomly get himself killed by
this isn't. That's not the one I wanted. Hang on 1 second.
I'm going back to the bar.
Prudence is missing quite the show.
He sure
And I'm
is.
tipping the barkeep extra.
So at this point, Prudence, have you actually gone back to your room? If so, that's fine. I just wanted to keep track of that. Okay, so at this point, yeah, Prudence is fast asleep upstairs. Give me 1 second just to pull something together, get a stat block that
Actually,
I
I'm
wasn't expecting
gonna-
to need tonight. So
I'm gonna tip the barkeep, and then I'm gonna go up to my room. As well.
So are both Hoyt and the bar dude outside now?
so at this point, yeah, the character would have been outside, and Hoyt, I assume you followed him out, or did you actually just tell him to leave and then let him leave?
No, that'd be funny too. I follow him out.
Okay.
I'm following Hoyt out as well, just to try to either make sure Hoyt doesn't get himself killed or try to defuse the situation.
Okay. So you, let's see. I'm trying to...
I'll begrudgingly and slowly
Actually-
trudge outward as well, with a very heavy sigh.
Alright.
I'm gonna go to my room and try and look out the window.
Okay, so you head up to your room. Your rooms are actually on the front-facing side of the tavern, so you can look down into the street and you see the individual walk out, and you see Hoyt trailing along behind.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna participate in this, but if Hoyt is going to charm someone else into fighting him, then I'll be damned if I'm not gonna watch.
And so he,
I'm so happy you approve.
so as he
I
steps
pointedly
outside,
do not.
he kind of starts. He spaces his legs out a bit, and he puts his hands up, not in a fist, but he kind of puts them up a little bit, and he says, "All right, come on then."
Come on,
And
you two. Is
on
this
that-
really
And
a squabble
On
over?
that note,
What?
I don't have the right music loaded for this, so I'm gonna use combat music because fuck it.
No,
Um,
Are we gonna like pull an Undertale and start like roll initiative,
I mean,
even though like some of the participants might not want to fight?
I'm not gonna make you guys roll initiative because you haven't entered combat. However, Hoyd, if you could,
11.
roll initiative, and anyone else who wants to actually actively be a part of this can roll initiative. Although I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend it.
Is initiative necessary if there's something I want to do at the first sign of aggression?
I'll say you've had enough time between getting up and walking outside that you can have something prepared. Sure.
I'm going to give Shigun a knowing look. I got this.
So you got an 11. Okay. I would draw something, but honestly, you know what a street looks like, so...
No, I don't.
It's a line.
Well, too bad, motherfucker. Okay.
That's his voice now.
So you had something prepared at the first sign of aggression, Rurik?
No,
Because-
actually, I'm just gonna wait and see what unfolds for a bit.
Okay, because
Yeah,
it is the man. I'll say at the top of each round, I'll ask if you guys want to do anything and intervene, and then you enter initiative.
Okay.
So the person goes
basically
first.
I'm only gonna step in if it gets like really stupid and ugly.
Okay. So the person, the person actually ends up going first, and what he will do is you see him clench his fists and bear down a little bit, and that's the end of his turn.
Excellent.
What are you doing?
I would like to cast a spell.
Oh no.
No.
What spell you casting? You'll have to be more specific than that.
Can I have you make the save and I tell you what it is for thematic effect?
Tell me what the save is.
Wisdom 15.
Wisdom? Oh god. He rolled a 15.
Oh!
Saves?
He literally 15 plus 0. Yes.
He saved. Holy crap.
He saved. What was it that you
What did you
cast?
try to cast?
Polymorph.
Oh, you went to cast polymorph. Yeah. So you go and you start to cast a spell, and you can see he like has this look on his face like what the hell, and he just kind of then looks up at you and says, "Oh, that's not fair." Top of the initiative. Does anybody want to do anything at this point? So
Do
Prudence,
I
you're not
know that?
there. Rurik, you're not there.
Do I know? Do I know that polymorph is the spell he tried to cast?
What level spell slots do you have? What's the highest level spell slot you have?
Level 2.
Level 2? I don't think you'd be experienced enough in magic to be able to identify it at this point, unfortunately.
What can I tell about the spell he tried to cast?
I mean, you could definitely tell he tried to cast a spell. There are... Polymorph has verbal, somatic, and material components, so he had to pull out this sort of like little... Well, you can't really see what it is from your room, but he had to pull out something from a little... Oh no, he uses his spellcasting focus. Sorry. But he mutters arcane words and waves his arms around. You can tell a spell was attempted to be cast.
So I don't know anything. I don't know what spell.
You know a spell was cast.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I don't know anything else.
Not at this point, unfortunately. Alrighty. So it comes back around to his turn, and he is actually just going to take a swing at you. Because he's pissed. He's real pissed off that you tried to cast a spell on him. Rude.
That's fine.
Not the only one.
So he takes the step forward, and as part of the step, he takes his swing. So he uses his bludgeoning strike. Oh motherfuck! That's a 6. So no.
Nope.
And in classic Hoyd fashion, you have one hand behind your back and just sidestep to the
Slap his
side.
hand.
Sure, yeah. You sidestep to the side and just slap his hand down. And he goes and he takes his... No, he doesn't have that this turn. Never mind. Now it is your turn. What would you
Since
like
that
to do?
didn't seem to work.
Ember, once this is over, I kind of want to see what his stats are.
Okay.
I'm just legit curious.
Do you really want to do this?
He doesn't even respond to you. He's just glaring at you.
I unsheath my rapier.
Hoyd.
As you do that, he like puts his hands up and goes, "Oi, oi, oi, oi! That's not fair."
I will poke him with the rapier.
Like literally just poke or make an attack.
Literally just poke and push a little too hard to make him uncomfortable.
Okay, so you go and you put the rapier up, and as he's like starting to back away, you just ever so slightly poke right into the center of his chest and push just a little harder, forcing him to step back.
I cast Mage Hand.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll say that's the end of your turn, Hoyd. Zook, go ahead and roll initiative, but I'll let you take your action at the end of this initiative round.
Okay.
Since fighting
It's
has
just-
technically...
It's
go
just
ahead.
D20 plus, yeah,
D20
Plus
Has fighting
six.
started?
initiative.
Nobody's hit
Yeah.
anybody yet.
Bearing in mind you are about 25 feet up in a window, so
25 works.
25?
I think that's what you said. What did you say?
I see a 20 on the screen here. Oh, 25 feet.
I
Yes, you're 25 feet away.
Yeah, 25 feet works.
Okay, Shigun, you roll initiative as
Also,
well.
my initiative is 20.
20. Alright, so you cast Mage Hand. Where do you make it appear, and what do you do with it?
Well, I mean, I'm making it invisible.
Okay, so it's invisible,
But-
but where physically on this field is it?
It's right in front of Hoyd because I'm going to use it to try and, like, mess up his rapier attack.
Okay. I'm just trying to think. So you're more or less using the help action. Let me check something about Mage Hand. I just want to, because I know you have the
I'm using the hurt action.
The
I know
unheld.
I know you have the Legerdmain ability, but I don't know if the Mage Hand can actually be used this way. You can use it to manipulate an object. It can't really be used for that purpose, unfortunately. It doesn't appear so. You can attempt to grasp the sword.
Well, I mean, it will at 13th level, but I'm not at 13th level.
Yeah, not yet. Because you can use it to retrieve an object or container worn or carried by another creature. That is something you can do as a Mage Hand later.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab the sword.
Okay. So your Mage Hand is now holding onto the sword. Hoyd, you can't see it, but you feel something like pull your rapier slightly out of your hand, and you tighten your grip on it. Something's going on.
Can I have a free action for a second?
What do you want to do? That's fine.
Look straight in the window right at Zook.
You turn and you look up at the window, and you see Zook there with his hand out.
Play fair, Hoyd.
It is initiative count 20, so it comes back to Zook. Because I let him do something at the end.
Okay.
I'm
You
gonna
saw mine
tell him
at
to
the-
play.
What's
I'm
happening
gonna,
with the
And
the guy?
Shigun has now drawn his sword at this point as
No,
well.
I haven't drawn my sword yet. I've just rolled for initiative.
Oh, you want to enter? Okay. Alrighty. So what's going on with the guy? The guy is like terrified. You see his hands are up. The tip of your rapier just ever so slightly pricked him, so you can see a small little line of blood going down the front of his front of his apron rather. Actually, no. With the poke that you did, it would have like just barely poked through the apron, so it didn't actually cut him, but it just slightly into his chest.
well, I'm telling Hoyd to play fair, and I will continue attempting to steal his rapier.
Okay, so you're gonna go. I will say. This is tricky because Mage Hand doesn't actually specify. It says you can retrieve an object carried or worn, but it doesn't actually specify if it's a weapon, because they're actively gripping a weapon versus like a torch.
That's an
which is
object
kind of
carried.
passively.
Wouldn't it be a strength check?
That's an object carried.
Problem is, Mage Hand doesn't have a strength score, and it can
That's my point.
only carry 10 pounds. I don't know if you'd be able to pull a weapon out of somebody's hand. If it were like a torch or something, right? Like you're just kind of passively holding it, I'd say you'd be able to grab it. But a weapon that's being actively held, I don't know if that's something that you'd be able to do with Mage Hand. Let's see what the internet says about Mage Hand Disarm.
I'm sure
No,
the
so
internet
you
has
can-
some advice that isn't very fun.
So you can do like sleight of hand checks to grab things, but this isn't a sleight of hand. This would be a strength check, and the mage hand only has the ability to carry 10 pounds, which a person wielding a weapon is exerting more than 10 pounds of force. So... So what would you like to do this turn? You are aware of the limitations of Mage Hand, so this isn't like I'm making you try it and find out it doesn't work. Like, you know the limitations of your own spell. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, I'm... Okay, can I try and, like, twist it?
I'll say this is more or less... Because this is a throwaway combat, honestly. I'll say this is more or less equivalent to the help action. So his next attack against the individual using this weapon would be a disadvantage. I'll allow that, because this is a throwaway
Okay, I'm
combat.
happy with that.
Okay. It comes around to his turn. What is he going to do? He is actually going to... slowly move, because he's moving slowly and carefully. He's going to move half his speed straight away from you. If I can pull up the stat block again. I think it's 30 feet, but I just have to check. 30 feet, yeah. So he's going to slowly move half his speed away from you, 15 feet.
Is he leaving my threat?
He would be.
And we'll take the opportunity to slash at him.
Okay, you take the opportunity attack. The mage hand is obstructing you and interfering, so the attack is made at disadvantage.
What are you doing? Why are you attacking him?
15?
Let me look at his armor class here. Yeah, 15 will hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you're gonna like this.
Hoid.
Holy shit. So, you go and you take a slash at him, you wrench free of the mage hand and slash right across, and you cut him pretty much from his shoulder down to his hip on the opposite side, like right across where the apron is. You actually cut the apron, and it's just sort of hanging there now. He's not doing so hot, and as the necrotic damage takes hold, was because it was mostly necrotic damage, less piercing and more necrotic.
Right.
You see he kind of like clutches his stomach and looks up at you as one of his eyes sort of turns bloodshot. And he says, "What did you do that for?"
To teach you a lesson. Now are we done here?
That is the end of his turn, so...
Hoid, was that... Why?
It is now your turn.
No, not my turn?
It is your turn now. And then Shigun after that.
I will turn my back to him and walk back inside.
Okay, so you just walk right out. Alright, you walk past Shigun and Rurik. And just walk on out of this space.
I
I'm
am...
gonna go and put this back.
I'm going to tend to the dude.
I can handle that.
Well, I'm still gonna help out.
Okay.
Okay, so as Hoid kind of walks past you two, you both approach him, and he kind of like shies away for a second.
It's okay. We're going to help you. It's okay.
What is he?
I can't believe he actually attacked.
Rurik, try to heal his wounds, okay?
Yes, I will. I'll cast Cure Wounds on the poor fellow.
Okay. You go.
Do I still have a sideline on Hoid?
No, Hoid is inside now. There's a floor. There's a floor between you and Hoid.
I'm gonna attempt to calm the dude down. as Rurik heals his wound.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Go ahead and roll for the healing.
Actually, I don't need to bother rolling because my spellcasting modifier alone is 5.
Oh, well, good. So, you roll a 0 on the die and heal him up to full. He had 6 hit points, by the way. You got extremely lucky.
Fuck! My
You got-
God.
How badly is his clothing?
Oh, his shirt is fucked. Like, part of his pants have been torn by the rapier. His apron is done. Maybe mending could fix it.
I'm going-
But, like, his outfit is just a wreck. He's
Are those your working
bleeding.
clothes?
He's no longer, but he was bleeding profusely.
Are these your working clothes?
They were.
Here. I reach into my pocket and I pull out a gold piece here. Go get you something new, alright? I apologize for what our traveling compatriot did. He's got a little too much into his drink.
He kind of he accepts the gold coin, but kind of looks at you indignantly and says, "What, you think you can just pay to get rid of your problems?" He spits on the
Listen.
ground in front of you.
Here's the thing. I don't specifically need your gratitude, but I can sleep tonight well knowing that I helped you out, okay? So you go get your clothes fixed so that way you can get back to your job tomorrow, alright? I'll take care of our friend.
You'd better. And he grumbles and storms off. Dude almost died.
Speaking of, speaking of,
Civilian.
speaking of, at
Alright,
the
I'm
same
back.
time all this is happening, Zook is rushing downstairs to tell the bar staff that Hoyd nearly killed a man.
Oh shit. Okay, so you run downstairs.
Oh no.
At the moment, it's just Amara. There's nobody else working in the bar, because there's only like 4 patrons besides you guys. So you guys, you run downstairs and you tell Amara that Hoyd almost killed a man. And, as
Last
Hoyd,
I saw he was just outside bleeding out.
and Hoyd, as you walk back in from across the room, Amara goes, "What the fuck? That was a paying
shouldn't be-
customer!"
I believe I've paid you. And he won't be bothering you anymore.
Hoyd, you can't just do that to people. I understand he was giving Amara a hard time, but fuck's sake.
Hoyd, she comes around the bar and she like meets you part way as you're walking across the dining space there. And he gets up and she's about your height, she may be an inch or two shorter. And you can see for a moment she leans in very, very close and she just growls, "I can take care of myself. I don't need you killing people for me."
I made sure he wasn't dead.
Hoyd, you crossed a line.
Do you know how much he spent here? Do you know how much time he's been here? Do you know how many friends he's made?
You know the answer to that.
No, you don't, because you don't care. Go get some sleep, Hoyd.
Thank you for a deep bow, and I will indeed upstairs.
Okay. You head
I'm
back
gonna follow
upstairs.
up to the room.
Okay. That was Shigun.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to give Hoyd a couple choice words.
Okay. So Hoyd, as you head up to the room, it's there. The rooms are there's two
I'm
adjacent
following
rooms.
Sheik and following him.
Okay. There's 2 adjacent rooms and 1 separated. And Prudence, I assume you're in the 1 separated. Not that it matters that much, but no. Okay, so you're in one of the 2 rooms that are adjacent. Okay. So Hoyd, you head up to your room. Which of the rooms do you take?
Don't I usually room with Prudence?
You do. So if you go in and you enter the room that Prudence is in, you peek your head into the first room and he's not there, and you peek your head into the second room. He is there. He's asleep. The drapes are closed. And he's asleep. So you open the door.
Don't we need to talk?
And Deer is nearby. She's doing. It's interesting. She's preening, but like preening with a cat mouth, and it's not working so well for her.
That's called preening.
It's just kind of messing her feathers up a little bit, and she's clearly not used to her form yet. Rurik, you're looking to stay with the person?
Yes, if he wants my company, I'll stay with him, ensure he's all right, and offer to walk him home if he wants.
Okay, so he did storm off. So at this point he's not out of sight, but he is a good distance away.
Okay.
If you want to run and catch up to him, you probably could.
Yeah.
Do we want to handle that first, or lecture Hoyd first?
I'm doing that on my own. I figured you went off and
Yeah, your
stormed
thing.
off after Hoyd.
We'll come back to that interaction. So Shigun,
Yeah, Shigun.
you follow. Wow,
Yeah.
sorry. You follow Hoyd up to the room, and Hoyd, as you open the door, Shigun's behind you.
And I'm following Shigun, so I'm also
grabbing
there.
Hoyd by the shoulder, and I'm pulling him back into the hallway and closing the door so that way we don't wake Prudence. And I'm
Okay.
getting,
Can I help you, sir?
Yes, you can, Hoyd. I want to make something very crystal clear. Okay? I understand that you're mischievous, and I understand that you are trying to help Amara. But it is the common folk that make this world go round. It is not hoity-toity wannabe nobles like you, and it is not knights like me. I can't stand by and let you just do that and almost kill a man. Okay? You want to do a bar brawl, fisticuffs, a few black eyes? Fine, that happened. I understand. But I never want to see you draw a weapon on anything like that ever again. Okay?
You right? It got a little carried away.
Yes. It did. Just make sure it doesn't happen again. Okay?
I only
He doesn't
meant
need to roll for intimidation. I'm over here quivering in my boots.
to prove a point to him.
I think you
I'm with Shigun on this. And unlike him, I think, I'm not so scared to draw my sword.
See, real talk, like out of character, I'm over here. I'm right next to him, seeing him deliver that. Like, got me a little bit scared, actually.
Well, one of these days.
She should get like double inspiration for that. That was scary. Okay, I'm done now.
If Zook has something to say, go ahead.
If you want to spend your time and your effort and your money and your reputation fleeing another kingdom because they want you dead too, then you can do that. But if you want your life to stop having problems in it, you better sober the fuck up, buddy. Okay? I've seen criminals, they're all smarter than you.
Oof.
Oof.
Are we done here?
That depends on you, I say, and I walk to my room.
Okay, you head to the disconnected room, we'll say, just for narrative purpose.
Oh boy.
And I go with Shigun to our room, because I guess we're rooming together.
I get, yeah, whatever works.
Okay, you follow Shigun into the room. Hoyd, you're alone in the hallway.
I will enter Prudence's room and go to bed.
Okay. As you enter, Prudence kind of just quietly as you
Just,
bunk up. Rurik, you approach the individual and I assume you're not making any attempts to like be stealthy.
Oh no,
Okay.
I'm making sure my presence is known, and if he absolutely wants nothing to do with me, I won't bother him. But
Okay.
I just want to offer a helping hand and ensure that he's going to be okay.
Okay. So he, you know, as you're walking up, you're like taking deliberate steps and making your armor louder than usual, and like very obviously making your presence known. And he kind of glances over his shoulder, and he slows a bit, and he allows you to catch up, recognizing that you were the one that helped him. He says, "The fuck you won't." He's like sort of clutching his side a little bit still.
I wanted to apologize profusely for our companion. I honestly didn't expect him to draw his weapon like that. Drunk or not, I expected better of him. But pushing that matter aside, is there anything that I can do to help at all? Are you feeling reasonably okay, or
He kind of
are you
like
still in?
he grips his side, and he realizes he's not in pain still, but the sort of the memory of it sticks with him. And he says, just make sure your friend starts learning the difference between right and wrong. I mean, I'm no stranger to scraps, but that shit, that's just not fair.
I completely agree, and I understand.
I'm just fucking around. I've known Amara fuck a lot longer than he has. He just grunts with frustration and turns, and he resumes walking back. Not quickly, not like, you know, his initial storm off was clearly just to make distance between you, but he does start making his way outward.
I'm sorry for everything that transpired. I'll just leave you be for now. We'll be sticking around until the morrow. If there's something I can do for you while we're still in town, please don't hesitate to ask.
Just keep an eye on your friend, yeah? If that is what he is to you. And
I'll have to meditate on that.
And thank you. For this, he kind of gestures at his torso.
I give a firm nod and pat him gently on the other shoulder.
Good call.
And then I will make my way back to the inn. Or
Okay.
tavern. Well, inn tavern.
Alrighty.
Whatever.
And you go and you head back to the Oarsman's Respite.
That
And
was the name, yeah.
yep. And you head back, and at this point, none of your friends are in view. You walk in, and as you walk in, Amara just, without really looking up from what she's doing, just points up and keeps going back to what she was doing.
I give her a polite nod and make my way up and to whichever room is either left or...
Okay. So at this point, I believe, actually, I believe there's a room free. So you go and it's one of the two rooms that are adjacent to each other, but it is an entire room. To yourself. So you enter the room there.
I will take the
Well,
room.
for the record, I wouldn't mind if we all grouped in this one room that we happen to be in at the moment, and just had a chat, you know?
Well, I think it's just you and Shigun in your room. Hoyd and Prudence are in another room, and then Rurik is in the room next to that.
Yeah, I mean, me, Shigun, and Rurik.
So do you...
Would not be opposed if Rurik happened to enter our room.
You sort of keep your head poked out a little bit, just keeping an ear out for when Rurik comes up, and he is not quiet by any means. So you hear him clomping up the stairs, and you do catch you catch his attention and call him over to your room. And Rurik, do you head over there?
Yeah.
Okay, you head over there and enter the room.
Well, that happened.
It certainly did.
If nothing else, we need a breather. And
I just didn't expect any of that.
No, I didn't either. I should have stepped in sooner as soon as he drew that weapon. I thought it was just for show, but he could have killed that man. Came close to it.
But by my account, he came very close.
I had hoped that he wouldn't stoop this low.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever seen him drink that much in one setting. But I don't know if this was conscientious or if it was a state of drunkenness.
Well,
I don't know what yet to make of it.
I know we haven't been traveling for that long. I am willing to chalk it up to a state of inebriation, but it is concerning, you know, because he does get into trouble, and sometimes you're never really quite sure exactly what he's thinking. But this crossed the line, regardless.
Hoyd's a liability, as far as I'm concerned. How we deal with this, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have an easy answer for that yet either.
Well, there's not much we can do about it now.
The best thing we can do is probably sleep on it and let him sober up so we can have a better chat with him.
I'm inclined to agree.
Hopefully that man can get a fresh replacement of clothes so that way he isn't encumbered too badly.
I wish I had mending. I have not the skill nor ability to do that.
I did give him a gold. You know, that'll help replace his clothing, and if he misses work for, you know, lack of outfit, hoping that'll cover any wages.
I imagine a gold piece will more than pay for it.
It will. I can tell he was none too happy, and that's understandable. A lot of the common folk don't exactly take too kindly to nobility, and I don't blame them. But it'll get the job done, and for me, that's really all I care about.
I'm not one of the guys who pickpockets, but from my impression, yeah, gold's a lot.
It is. He'll be fine.
Yeah, if Prudence were available, I'm sure Prudence would be able to help with that. But I don't want to particularly bother him right now.
Well,
Not can be done about it for now. I suggest
how-
we go to bed.
well, how are we going to split these two rooms?
It doesn't matter to me.
I was on my way to the other room because I assumed you were in this one.
Hoyd and Prudence are sharing a room. so we can split. It doesn't matter to me. I just need to sleep after all that, you know? So if either of you want a room to yourself, or if you want to share it,
I'm indifferent. No, I suppose I'll just go ahead and take the other room then.
So, I'm rooming with Shigun?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. It's fine with me.
I will leave and make my way to the other room and prepare for the night's rest.
Yep.
And before I go to bed, before I retire, Ember, I think I'm going to just to take my mind off this, I'm going to read from the Archives book for a bit.
Okay, so you take a moment and you sit off to the side. There isn't exactly like a desk, you know, this isn't a proper hotel room with high-speed broadband internet for $15.99 a night. But you go and you sit off to the side as Rurik is removing his armor and taking his sweet ass time doing it because that armor is complicated as fuck. And you flip open your the book. You flip open the book that you've received, and the pages are blank initially. And you turn to about the middle-ish, and you're about to turn the page again, and appearing in your writing again, similar to what you've seen before, appearing in your writing, it says, "Would you like to know why?" Excuse me, it says, "Would we like to know why?"
Do I write in this book, or do I talk to this book?
I don't know that you've tried either. Only one way to find out.
I'll write in this book.
Okay. So you pull out a writing implement and you write in the book, in the line underneath. What do you write in it?
Why what?
Slightly uncomfortable.
Why what?
But that's still cute.
As you complete writing, there's a pause, and then your ink shifts. So your writing shifts, and it says, "Why he's like this." And then it continues on. The archive knows. The archive wishes to tell us.
My ears are open.
The next line is, the ink sort of absorbs into the page. You watch as it just disappears, and the next line that's written is not in the ink. Rather, it is in a sort of mottled brownish ink of some kind, and it says, "Small sacrifices reap great rewards."
Who are you?
In response, the book actually turns the page on its own, and on the back of the page, you see the ink has sort of bled onto the other side. And the writing is almost halting, like it starts to form words and then shifts back and sort of becomes this amorphous set of glyphs, And then finally, the letters rearrange themselves, and they eventually, the ink rearranges itself, and it eventually forms the words. And it says, "We are all that we know."
Tapping my quill on it.
As you do so, just like a little bit of ink flicks off the nib and lands on the page, and in a very small sort of this next line is written in a script of handwriting you don't recognize. You're able to read it. It's not an unusual language, but the writing is not such that you recognize. Very precise lettering in its writing, almost like a font on a computer. That's how precise the writing is. And it says, if you show us what you know, we will show us what we know.
Can I trust you?
Knowledge is inherently untrustworthy.
Can I know you?
Who can know the unknowable? And then there's a pause. And then this is in your writing, and then in the other writing, it says, there is much to be known. Not all knowledge deserves to be shared. But some knowledge deserves to be known.
What are you?
The next line is again in this sort of mottled brown ink. Your text remains on the page, and the next line is in this sort of mottled brown coloration, and it says, "We are the archive. We are knowledge."
What do you do?
We grant knowledge to those willing to share their own.
How many are you?
The ink bleeds through the page, and there is no response. It's about this point that, Rurik, are you heading to bed?
Oh, yes.
I just want to track what you're doing in the room. Okay, so you're heading to bed as Shigun.
Yeah,
I'd be like
like taking off my armor and like preparing for bed, like saying like a brief prayer to Paylor and settling in.
Alrighty.
After not getting a response to that one, I write, "Any catch?"
There's a moment, and then again in that mottled brown ink, you see again the same sentence you saw before. It says, "Small sacrifices reap great rewards." And then in the script, this is actually a third set of handwriting. This one's a little bit sloppy. The letters are kind of disjointed, as if it were written by somebody who was just learning to write. that kind of like scribbly but legible writing. It says, we want knowledge. We take knowledge. We give knowledge.
Do you collect knowledge?
This is in your own writing. It says, actually, no, this one's a simple answer. It just says yes.
Do anything with it?
Oops, I'm on the wrong window. Let's change this to this. It says, knowledge is best served in those that know and understand how to use it. And now we're getting in deep. I gotta pull out the book.
Where are you?
As you write this, Rurik, are you asleep or are you still awake?
How much time would have passed for this?
Maybe 15-20 minutes. Half hour at the most.
I would imagine I'd still be awake. Just at this point, I'd be lying in bed and mulling over recent events and trying to fall asleep.
Okay. So it says, actually, no, this is fine, because you wouldn't see this anyway. Behind you, you hear a shift, and where the door was, the door is now open.
You're talking to me or Zook?
Zook.
Okay.
Rurik, you look up, door's not open, door's closed.
Okay.
And the book says, come find us.
Okay, good. No scary door.
The scary door.
I'm thinking.
As you consider, it says, the Silent One awaits.
Oh, that's not ominous at all.
You do recall the last time you were in your dream and you were in the archive. When you spoke, sound did not carry.
I suppose that answers my question. I go out into the hallway.
Okay, so you step out into the hallway. Rurik, you're sort of drifting off at this point, so it's one of those moments where you're like, did I just see that? You watch Zook walk through the door. Sorry.
What? I'm. This should be Shigun.
Did I say Rurik? Sorry, Shigun.
Yeah.
What?
I lost track of
Okay,
who
yeah.
was in what room, and I kept asking Rurik things, but it's actually Shigun that's been in the room the whole
Okay.
time.
Oh, I
I'm
was
so
really
sorry.
confused.
I got things.
I
I got
wondering
things
where you were
totally
at.
backwards in my
Can we
brain.
backpedal just a little bit so I understand what happened?
Sorry about that. Basically, you've been getting ready for bed as Zook has been writing in his little book in the corner, more or less.
Writing his fan fiction.
Yes, he's writing his fan fiction.
Is the fanfic author?
His Shirik fan fiction.
Yes.
And as you're preparing for bed, like out of the corner of your eye, you look, and it's a bit of a double take, where you're like not really sure 100% what you just saw, as Zook walks through the closed door.
I kind of mumble to myself a little bit and roll over in bed, because I assume I'm either tired because of the altercation earlier, or it's some freaky magic trick that he has, because he does have magic.
Okay.
Fair.
So, now, this is everyone's favorite part. If I can have you all mute yourself, deafen yourself, except Zook, I will let you know when you can come back in Thursday gameplay.
Okay.
Alright.
Right click and hit deafen.
Hoyt. Oh, are you gone? I think Hoyt's stepped away for a second. So, Zook.
I guess we're alone now.
You walk out into the hallway, and it's a familiar sight. Hang on. It's a familiar sight. You walk out into the hallway, and similarly to the last time you were here, you see it's sort of this almost dusk type lighting. It's very dim. It was nighttime. It is now a little bit dim. You see this reddish sort of light coming in from one side. And following the same path that you went last time, you walk down the hallway and find yourself once again. It's almost... There's a moment where you have difficulty remembering when the transition happened from hallway to library, but you find yourself among the familiar stacks and rows and rows and rows of books, tomes, relics, objects. Above you, the ceiling is not there. There is no ceiling. It goes up into the night sky. And hanging low is the crimson full moon once again. Looking straight ahead, you see the lectern that held the index prior.
Is the index still on it?
Looking forward, the index is indeed on it. You glance down to your book, your tome, and you notice the cover of the index bears the same iconography etched into the front of the book. And it's a sort of let me pull it up here. It's a it's hard to describe the exact shape. It's almost like a spider or a beetle of some kind, but it's composed entirely of lines. It's not an image so much as a symbol. This time, you see sitting next to the index is a small bell, a small golden bell sitting on a pedestal next to it.
Well, you must know I'm curious about you.
You say this aloud?
I attempt to.
Okay.
Or I think it, because I'm used to this.
You think it? Okay. And thinking that outward, your surroundings don't seem to react.
Hello? I say aloud.
Okay. As you speak, your voice, you can barely hear yourself. The voice is almost as if you're trying to speak through water. You know you're making sound. You can feel your vocal cords vibrating, but the sound just doesn't carry. And hang on, I just have to check something real quick. Okay, carry on.
I'm gonna ring the bell.
Okay. Walking up, you ding, ring the bell. The bell that carries. You can hear it almost echo along the hallway. And there's a moment where nothing really seems to happen, and in this space, it's uncomfortably silent. There's no shifting. There's no, like, you can't even hear your own footsteps on the floor. And oops, that's not what I'm looking for. Where are you? Okay. There's a brief pause, and then you feel a presence to your right, and you turn. There's nothing there, but you can see just in like the motes of dust that are floating, a humanoid shape is standing there next to you. And you hear, almost like breathed into your mind, it says, "What do you seek?"
I think knowledge about you.
It sort of dissipates. The figure disappears. The index heavily opens.
I look at the index. I read.
Okay. The pages are covered in writing. Make a... where is it? Make a charisma saving throw, please. Oops, probably help.
Charisma.
Probably help if I was on the correct window, wouldn't it? 6. Okay. The writing begins to become legible for a moment, and then the words start to cross over each other, and there's a moment where you start to read some of it. You catch snatches of word, you catch archive and knowledge, and there's a couple of times the phrase seeker comes through, the word rather, seeker comes through, but it quickly becomes too much, and it becomes painful to look at the page, and you're forced to turn away. And there's a moment where you
know all you're doing is discouraging me, right?
So let me finish. There's a moment when you turn, and in frustration you say that aloud, and then you stop, and you suddenly remember everything written on the page. And the pages more or less read. I'm not going to speak verbatim because there's a lot of writing in the initial index page, but more or less you read that the index is the archive is a repository. It's a place where forbidden knowledge is kept, whereas the goddess Ayun and other deities of knowledge seek to protect knowledge and seek to hoard knowledge and keep it from the mortals. Because they don't believe that the mortals are worthy, the archive actively seeks out these worthy mortals and shares its secrets with them in exchange for forbidden knowledge of their own.
I'm thinking.
There's another thing you learned. You learned the name of the you learn two things. One, the name of the book, the index, is called the Index Incarnatus. And I'll DM you the spelling of that.
Yeah.
And you learn that the book in your hand is the Compendium of Forgotten Secrets.
Okay, I'm gonna think out. Am I bound now, or are we civil?
Are you saying this aloud?
I'm thinking it.
You're thinking it? Again, the index heavily swings open, this time just to the first page.
I have another look.
Okay. But this time, because there's no specific knowledge you're seeking, there's no charisma check involved, but you read in the writing changes with each word. The handwriting changes with each word as the writing scrawls itself across the page. And it says, only those that wish to learn, only those that wish to seek, become bound.
I'm out. Then
Okay, so you step away.
I step away.
Okay. You step away from the lectern, and the light above starts to dim slightly as you wander away, and making your way as best you can recall back through the stacks. There's a few minutes where, you know, you're not entirely sure of whether you've left the archive or not, and then you go to focus on your surroundings, and you're back in the hallway of the tavern. And in front of you is the closed door to your room, your and Shigun's room.
Can we invite the people back in, or
Okay. Yeah, so if you
are we not there yet?
No, you're back on the material plane.
Yeah,
If I can remember how to spell people's names. There we go. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
So you
I
Have
open the
fun.
door. I open the door and re-enter the room with Shigun.
Is Zook
Okay.
dead?
You have fun with the scary door?
No, he's alive. He's very much alive. He opened the door. Shigun, at this point, pretty much no time has passed. So you watched Zook walk out the door. Well, walk through the door, but walk out the door, and then the door opens and Zook walks back in.
I'm gonna sit up in bed. You okay over there?
I'm fine. Fine.
I think we're all a little stressed out from earlier. I just think I was getting some sleep. And then I kind of
Now,
roll back over a little bit.
now I think of it, I may want to talk with Rurik.
Oh,
I don't know if he's still up.
is something the matter?
Not to my knowledge, no. Just something occurred to me.
You do what you need to do. I'm gonna get some sleep.
I'm going to go back out into the hallway and likely knock on Rurik's door.
Okay, Rurik, you hear on your door.
If at this point I'm not sure how long that took, so if I'm still awake, I would like yes.
Would have been basically
It's
no
apparent-
time at all.
Okay. And then I'd get up and open the door and see who is outside, begrudgingly.
Okay. You open the door and there's Zook.
What? Does something trouble you?
Talked with the archive again.
Oh, did you?
I motion in a manner suggesting I would like to be let in.
I'll step aside and let you in.
Turned it down.
Turned it down?
Yeah.
Turned what down? Like, was there an offer?
The archive. I declined. I declined to work with it.
I see.
Seek knowledge for it and such.
What prompted this?
It made a tempting offer, but ultimately I valued my freedom.
Understandable. Is there something that I can help you with? Or that you would like to discuss?
Was mainly just curious.
About?
That was mainly just curious about your take on this.
Well, I would say that given your authority on the subject, I would say you know far more about it than I do. I believe it's ultimately your decision to make. I don't really have any meaningful input one way or another on that regard.
Suppose that's fair. I shouldn't have expected it of you. Ember, what was the name of the character he mentioned?
Which character? There were two that I can think of, but
the contrast. The figure of contrast. The figure presented by contrast. I'm trying. Okay.
Oh,
like other people are listening, and I'm trying not to spoil them.
The one that was there. There wasn't a name given for that character.
No, I mean the person, the one that was named as like
the silent one.
There was a character who was named, who was mentioned in the context of being an alternative.
Oh, an alternative. Oh, Ayun.
Okay.
Which I know, Rurik, you've heard that name before. You know Ayun, the goddess of knowledge.
Yes, that was a name I heard from
Goddess of
Taylor.
secrets, but goddess of knowledge.
Right.
I also wanted to ask you what you knew about Ayun.
Well, admittedly, I don't know that much. It was a name that Taylor gave me, and I believe she is... Oh, dang it, I have it. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I was looking back through my notes on this. I know little of Iun, but that except that she is Palor's sister. That was an appropriate music cue. that low cello. No.
Yeah, our script writers are really good, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Well, that's any information's helpful.
Is there something specific you want to know about her that I might be able to trade a Paler for guidance on?
It's fine for now. I think I should be off to bed.
All right. You can always come to me in times of need, my son. And
Oh no.
and if you felt so inclined, perhaps you could try praying to Paler as well. You might answer.
I appreciate your help.
Then have a good night.
And then, yeah, and good night. And then I go back to Shigun's room and go to sleep.
Okay. So you head
I
to
will
sleep.
return-
And you return to sleep as well?
Yes.
Alrighty. Everybody sleeps. And you get your nice long
Yay.
rest in. And,
Prudence super sleeps because he slept sooner than everyone else.
yes, Prudence has speed slept. Which is kind of like speed reading, except in all the ways that matter. So you, get through the, night. Rurik. No, nothing happens. You sleep through the night.
Oh,
Okay.
Who's keeping watch?
Everybody gets through their night. Prudence, you wake up about an hour earlier than everybody else.
For a moment, I thought
And
we were going to have 2 deafen sessions.
Yeah, and you spend your time doing research and rolling your portents, forgetting that it's not the same trigger as. Those are great portents. Holy shit!
Oh boy!
8 and 19. Those are great
Dang.
portents. Okay. So if you get up pretty much an hour earlier than everybody else, you can actually just get going an hour earlier than everybody else, so you don't delay the party, if that's your intent. Is there... I'm trying to think. Is there something that you would like to try and find in session that may affect the session, or is it something that we can do off session? Oh. Lead inks. 10 gold's worth of lead inks and 100 gold pearl. Yeah, both of those things are fairly easily acquired. Pearls in particular, since this is a 1, a port town, and 2, a river port town. And the river connects to the ocean. So you're able to get both fairly easily enough. And it takes you very little time at all to do it. So, you spend your time doing that, and by the time you get back to the Oarsman's Respite, everybody else is just starting to wake up. The lead inks, the vendor of when you ask for lead inks, they're like, what? And then they realize what you're asking, and they point you to a vendor that can provide spell components. Specifically the lead inks. He says, "Good morning, everyone. No time to lose. Let's go."
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh no. My die has a chip in it.
Oh no!
My labradorite die has a chip in it. Oh, everything is ruined. Anyway,
That
go
means
on.
it's a
Sorry.
Speaking of bad news, we have some news for Prudence that he missed from last night.
Well, perhaps we should tell him as we go.
Oh, yes. I defended Amara's.
We've got quite a journey left to make.
He's fine. Let's move.
You almost killed a man.
Shigun,
Almost.
Yes.
Shigun, feel free to summarize.
Oh yeah, let's move quickly before the gods hear of it.
And we find Rurik. Let us be on our way.
Prudence, should I be concerned that that's your reaction?
No, he's just being prudent.
I suppose that's fair.
That was excellent.
It's a fair observation, but regardless, I think we
And
Hello, Cello.
I must admit he has a point.
can fill Prudence in as we walk. Come on.
Yes, let's.
Pick up stuff to be on the way.
Prudence says, "Oh yeah, then let's move." Sorry, I thought Discord flagged that as new, and I was like, I'm just gonna read it without reading it. And it's the same line. I'm not gonna
Obviously,
say
it
it
has
again.
time.
Yes. I'm sorry, Zook, but I don't have time for this. We have to go do the work we've been hired to do. He says, lacing on the sarcasm.
We're going.
Hoyd has a little pep in his step as he goes. So you guys head out from Ford's End.
Yep.
Okay. So I actually put you in the wrong place. You are actually there.
Fast round.
Because it makes so much of a difference where you are on this map.
Technically, all travel is fast travel. It just is a slow cast bar.
Yeah. We talked about this the other night.
Yes, we did.
So
That's what driving is.
while you guys are on the road, the next...
Well, I mean, at least this way we won't be holding W.
The next... no, you can just double tap W and it locks.
Yeah, just auto run.
So you make your way out, and the next sort of leg of your journey is over a couple of days. There are 2 more days, and then you end up in Nineveh. The 2 days that you're on the road pass relatively uneventfully. Is there something specifically that you're looking for or want to do while you're on the road?
Figure out what to do about Hoyd.
Yeah. Now that he's sobered up, we might have to actually continue our discussion with the entire evening.
Okay. So while you're on the cart, you corral Hoyd so that he's not driving and doesn't have an excuse to not have this conversation. I gotta flip to the 9-deck page now too.
Since we're in a hurry, I probably wouldn't be doing anything in the cart potion-wise, because I imagine it would be difficult to do that at a quickened pace.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and you know you only got about 2 days between here and Nineveh anyway.
I would in that since I'm not focused on that, I would be keeping an eye out for various interesting ingredients that I might want to use that I could possibly spot while moving quickly. I don't expect there to be much, but it's like, oh, I see like an interesting mushroom or something.
Ah, yes. The good shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, the good shit.
Okay, so since you're traveling at a fast pace, any attempts to sort of keep an eye out for that kind of stuff is going to be at a disadvantage.
I'm aware.
But go ahead and make a... this is actually less an investigation, but go ahead and make a perception check. With disadvantage, you get a 19, because Prudence has used his portent on you.
Wait!
You get a 19. Plus, what's your perception bonus? What's the total?
5. So it's 24.
And
Okay.
you see the drugs when they hit you.
So the
You
first...
see the break before they hit you.
So on the first day, you do come across a number of lesser known components, not so much spell components as they are potion ingredients. There's a number of plants native to the area that are not incredibly uncommon, but they only bloom or they only are on a specific state at certain times of the year, and you happen to catch a few of those. Are there any ingredients for specific potions that you're looking for? Of the ones that you know how to make?
I'd like to keep an eye out for anything to try to replicate the essence of rage.
The essence of rage potion? Okay.
Yes.
So you know you have at least one of those ingredients. But
Yes.
you do find, I'll say, enough to produce, in your estimate, one, if not two of them, depending on how well you roll when you're crafting them, or how much time you take, because you can substitute a roll with just taking more time. If you want to write down ingredients for 2x Essence of Rage potions, and who knows, in the future those ingredients may go to use in other potions as well, but that's what they are to you right now.
Alright. I'm pleased with that.
Which is not including the reagent of the demon teeth, which you know is one of the ingredients.
Oh, that's Blake. Yes.
Those don't exactly just like hang out on the road, so
Yeah, I don't suppose that's a kind of flower.
yeah. Well, not on this plane anyway.
You've got more demon teeth now.
That's a out of context DMP quote.
At the first opportunity, Prudence, you kind of
To be like an old
you look across the cart to Hoyd, and he says, "That was very irresponsible. You should know better than to get into trouble with people."
1 second, we have a visitor here.
How dare you! Oh, they're already gone.
We're in a decent now. Oh, fun.
We're just gonna wait on that, I guess.
Hoyd, do you say anything back to him? I guess. Oh, you're eating. Yeah, stop eating food. Stop requiring sustenance like a human being. Gross.
And yeah, instead of eating, I'm just here, like, slowly starving.
I'm just subsisting on cider.
Like, my arms got fuzzy an hour ago. Like, I'm here. I'm here going.
That doesn't sound healthy. I don't know. I'm not an armologist, but
Well, I'll get some tater tots after the session. Don't worry.
All right, I think we're sufficiently accurate.
alrighty. Okay, Hoyd. If you want to respond, I'd prefer verbally because I will be listening to this later and not watching it later.
Eating a Twix. Hold on, they take a while to chew.
Twix, 2 for me, none for you.
Yes, Prudence, I did get a little carried away. That was not my intent. I only intended to show him some manners.
By slashing. Like, how inebriated were you?
I feel I should establish, Hoyd, that you are perhaps the only member on this team without an appreciation for restraint.
Getting carried away is just the start of it, says Prudence. You do not mix weapons and drinking, says the person whose entire body is a weapon because magic.
But he doesn't.
He's got a crowbar. He's a very good crowbar artist.
That's right, he does have a crowbar, doesn't he?
He cast a crowbar that one time.
Hoyd, I understand that our emotions can sometimes get the better of us, especially
That is also
when
true.
alcohol is involved. But I want you to assure me that something like this will never happen again if you want to continue with our group.
I understand your concern.
All right? You know, we let you get away with a lot of funny shit, like with the goat man, you know. But when you start fights with commoners like that, everyday working men, that does cross a line.
you not see that he was bothering? I did it with a good intent.
Hoyt, you're too much of a jackass to be a royal, and you're too indiscreet to be a thief.
I have to side with Zook on this one, unfortunately.
Have you honestly considered what your plan is? Or is your life goal just to fuck around until you die?
Oh, I have many grand plans.
Yeah.
And our trip right now, this is just a means.
See, the problem is that currently we have no reason to trust you anymore.
Did you trust me to begin with?
Enough to let you hold a sword.
Because of all of the members of the party, you trusted me the least.
I trusted you enough to hold a sword.
Prudence says, that's a bit much, Zook. A bit much. Zook. I enunciated that whole sentence wrong, I apologize. We already trusted him with our lives before, and he showed worthy of trust.
And that's why I'm willing to chalk it up to the inebriation. A line was crossed, and I like to think that we're all on the same page here, I hope. So, I am willing to let Hoyd continue with us, as long as it's understood that this kind of stuff should never ever happen again.
And if it does?
Then we will just have to part ways with Hoyd, I think, because at that point, him continuing to stay with us could jeopardize our future missions. And I would hate for it to come to that, but I suppose that's just how it is.
I would agree to that.
Rurik.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about how to go about doing this. I think you have the highest passive perception of the group, right? I want to say.
I don't know. I think
Unless somebody got observant, but I'm pretty sure you.
Zook got observant.
That's right.
I have
Zook.
observed.
Oh, you
I
both
have it as well.
observant. Oh God. Oh
My
God.
15.
Okay, so.
Well, my passive perception is 17.
Okay, so
Okay, fine.
Zook and Rurik both. Although Rurik, this is more your expertise, but Zook, you've definitely noticed this behavior. You've known people who are possessive, which I think is the best way to phrase it. You've known people who are proud of their weapons. You've known people who are very they carry their identity by the way that they fight and the weapon they carry.
Surely I've at least seen an assassin in my line of work.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you're familiar with people who that is the weapon that they carry, like that is their sword or that is their knife. You've not seen somebody clutch to this one the way you've seen clutch to their weapon the way you've seen Hoyd do. It's how do I phrase this? You've noticed over the past few weeks, actually weeks has been since you've gotten this weapon, that Hoyd's, people who sleep with their weapons, right? They usually have them next to the bed. Hoyd has been keeping the weapon unsheathed and with his hand on it as he sleeps. And that's not a behavior you've seen before. Not
Oh,
even you.
good.
Not even you, Zook. Most people will have them nearby, but not immediately on them on their person.
Oh, right. One moment.
Hoyd,
Yes, Zook.
Yeah, it's our house.
I would very much like to apologize for interfering with your blade the other day, but I fear
That's right. You should
that
apologize.
in doing so I saved that man's life.
Zook has nothing to apologize over.
So I cannot in good faith apologize.
So, Hoyd, you've been,
I'd
offering-
like not to do it again.
Then don't.
Then don't start fights with the common folk, okay? At the
Don't
very
make
least,
me.
At the very least, don't draw your blade on them.
Don't you ever have a need?
And the need to what?
Exercise your strength.
My strength is helping common folk. That is my mission. That is my duty.
How do you prove your
Unlike
ability?
you, I have patience.
I don't think you do.
Really? You have the gall to call me impatient.
Okay, let's just take a step back, okay? Ultimately, the man lived, and we did tend to his wounds, gave him some coin to replace his clothing. So that's been resolved, thankfully. And Hoyd has given us his word that despite our personality clash, he will refrain from doing this again. And we've trusted him with our lives in the past. I see no reason to doubt him this time. I'm willing to chalk it up to alcohol, and we can just move on. I hope.
It might not be alcohol.
You have a point.
What makes you say that?
You know, we're close to that sword a lot more than lately. Is something about it you might want to inform us of, Hoyd?
Can't hear you.
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Sorry. Is there something you might want to inform us regarding your sword? You've been keeping it closer than usual.
Prudence, driving the horses up front, just calls over his shoulder. Is that right? Are you implying it's cursed or something?
It is quite a fantastic blade.
Oh, I have no doubt that it's a fantastic blade. It's quite elegant.
But I don't think I will give it up lightly.
I'm not expecting you to give it up. I'm just curious why you seem a bit more aggressive with it lately.
Are you trying to take it from me?
Oh no. I'm just merely seeking to understand.
I've seen people on wanted posters looser with their arms.
He says, unscrewing his arm from its socket.
I-
I'm sorry. No, that was a good line. I'm sorry. That was a good line. I'm sorry for ruining it.
I don't necessarily mean to imply anything untoward about you, I'm just confused.
Prudence said something.
Have we identified it? I could check to make sure it's safe for use. He shows off this big ol' pearl. With its beauty, I can magically discern the attributes of magic items.
It hasn't identified it for me.
Would a second opinion hurt?
Would you acquiesce to a second identification just to be sure?
Prudence says, what did he say? As we scramble to our DMs to find the stat block.
Well, if Rurik and Prudence have concerns about the nature of the sword, I suggest we let them identify it again, just to be certain.
Let the issue rest. Prudence, you may take a look at the blade, but I will hold it.
That seems fair.
It's mine.
He says, "Why do you want to hold it so much?" It is yours, and you know that we never take things from you, so why this thing and not the other things that are yours?
I'm gonna Arcana check that sword.
Okay. You can make it.
Because I'm getting worried. I probably don't
You can-
know much.
Okay, you can make an Arcana check. I don't know how much you'd be able to get out of it, more than what Hazendel has already told you.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to tell me nothing. I'm just like... Zook's getting worried.
So is Prudence actually identified?
What's the result?
I got a 14.
14.
14. It's, you know, your experience with magical weapons is fairly limited. You do have experience with magic, and you also have experience with shifty characters, so it's a bit of a mixed bag that you're getting off of here. There's nothing specifically magically about it that you would necessarily be able to recognize.
Prudence, because this one is special. It makes me feel powerful.
Oh.
Not gonna lie, that sounds kind of alarming.
Doesn't your new armor make you feel powerful? And your new weapon?
I've only once or twice met people talking like that.
There's a difference in the power that a good suit of armor or blade has compared to what you're speaking of. Now, I'm no sorcerer, but the way you're talking gives me pause for concern.
Right. You need to be separated from this thing at all costs. He stops the horses. The cart stops on the road. Everyone?
Well, I'm hopping off the cart.
Okay. Zook, you hop right off the back and just are standing on the road now.
I hope the cart's not too tall for me to still look into it.
It's like the lip of it is at eye level, so you're having trouble, but you can see the other people.
Okay,
Prudence standing.
I'm just hoping it doesn't ruin the dramatic tension.
Yeah, no, you can see the other people that are in there. You just can't like see their feet. Prudence stands and turns and says to Lloyd, "Give me the sword, or I will kill you where you stand, and we'll revive you when we can."
Okay, let's not go that far yet, okay?
You can see him reaching for his component pouch.
Like I said, we should be able to trust Hoy.
I will not give you the sword.
No,
I step back.
we have to go that far. Oh boy, let me get out the descriptions of his spells, because I don't have it
I
immediately
offer
on hand.
to let you identify it.
All right, let's start with the identification first, okay? Let's figure out what this is we're dealing with,
I don't have it
and
right
we
on
can
hand.
go from there. If it's indeed cursed or anything like that, then we can destroy it if we have to. And if that is the case, then I will buy you a new sword, Void, magic or not.
Hey, look at the stat block.
Prudence said something.
We have to separate the two first, and then see the effects. Identifying doesn't always reveal curses.
Well, my concern is...
If Prudence is getting his component pouch out, I'm getting my bow out.
Prudence, okay, you start stepping away, so do you hop off the cart as well? Okay, so you hop off out the front side of the cart next to one of the horses, and you start backing away as well.
What?
So are we going to just...
He says, drop your sword, Hoyd.
$50 plat if you drop it. No tricks.
I will... I'm going to cast command. Drop.
Yeah, Ember, I know about that.
Okay,
Do what?
so you quickly stand and reaching for your holy symbol, go and you cast command on Hoyd. Roll the save. I assume it's wisdom, probably. I don't know what your spell save DC is.
This thing is so long.
Rurik, what's your spell save DC?
16.
16? Alright, Hoyd, make a wisdom
Yes,
save. Is it wisdom to avoid command?
Prudence, you have a portent.
Oh yeah. With that,
Great.
yeah. So, you have a +0 to your wisdom? I assume.
Yeah, I have a +0.
Okay.
The
so you roll
portent was
7.
8, but same difference.
No, it was 8 yesterday. Today it's 7.
Ah, okay.
Is command
Say again?
is command a charm?
I don't believe so. There might be something
It's
in the spell
listed as
description about it, but let me check. I don't think
It's
so.
listed as an enchantment.
Yeah, it's sometimes in the description it'll say like a creature is immune to this effect if it's immune to charm or whatever, but I don't think that's the case for this.
And how do
No.
portents work against advantage?
So a portent replaces the roll entirely. There is no roll made.
Oh. Okay, then it doesn't matter.
And no, command is not considered a charm effect or related to charm.
Okay.
For future reference. So you stand, and we're not in turn order per se, but on your next turn, you let go of the Hell's Razor, and it hits the floor of the wagon. And in that moment, does anybody do anything? Because we're not exactly in initiative order, but more or less, hand-waving, Hoyd has just taken his turn.
Prudence is typing.
Mm-hmm. Prudence, he just says, now step away and let somebody else take it.
I cast Mage Hand.
Okay, so you then cast Mage Hand. Visibly or invisibly?
Visibly.
Visibly. Okay. For reference, because of your positioning, you actually can't see the floor of the wagon.
Well, I'm gonna climb back up onto the wagon.
Okay. Yeah, you can quote unquote use your movement to get back up into the wagon, or at least onto the lip of it, so you can see the floor. And you go and you cast Mage Hand. What do you do with your Mage Hand? And then is it visible or invisible?
It's visible, and I'm waiting for Hoyd to step away.
Okay, so
I'm going to stand exactly where I am,
You see Hoyd.
but I
Hoyd.
won't reach for the blade.
Okay. Zook, you see, or rather, Hoyd, you see Zook's Mage Hand appears. You recognize his. You've recognized his spellcasting. Okay. Is okay. Okay. If we are going to initiate combat, I will say,
no.
which is not my favorite phrase to say, but everybody roll initiative, and Prudence, Hoyd, make your save against the Toll the Dead. I'm not going to keep track of your hit points. I'm going to leave that to you guys to do. But I will keep track of initiative order.
What's Toll Dead Wisdom?
Oh no.
I think so.
I got a bill.
Yeah, I take the Toll the Dead.
Okay. So starting from the top, let's see.
Hoyd got a 20.
Okay. Prudence, you got a 14. Rurik,
2.
2. Okay. Shigun,
Shigun got 17.
17.
Prudence got a 21.
Got a 21. Oh, that was your damage. Sorry.
No, that was his initiative.
That
Yeah.
was my initiative.
No, I have Oh, I just saw the color of the. That's why.
You're confused because there's 2 Twilight avatars.
And Zuki got a 14. Okay. Well, this isn't the music I wanted to play for this session, but here we are.
Oh boy.
Okay, so for the purposes
wasn't
of this, give me 1 second. I know we don't have a whole lot of time left, but give me 1 second. Where is my... There it is. That is the sound of me opening my container with my markers in it. So your wagon... It's not that big, but there's your wagon. That fits all of your shit in it. Zook, you'd be off the back. I'm going to leave the horses just in a static location. But, you know, they are creatures, per se. I'd say you'd probably be about here. It is a covered wagon, so the sides are do cause visibility loss. There. Okay. So... Hoyd, did you choose to fail the wisdom save?
No, I actually failed the wisdom save.
Oh, you actually failed the wisdom save? Okay, so you take 7 points of necrotic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the initiative order, so that would be Prudence at the top of the initiative order. Hoyd, it is your turn. What's the plan?
I'm figuring out what I want to do.
A very interesting and alarming turn.
Yeah, I'm... oh boy.
Okay. So I gotta have a decision from you. What's the plan?
So, I'm standing away. Great, thanks. Prudence,
So-
you know what? You are so helpful.
Okay,
So I
think
take-
about
I
like what
take the
Hoyd
Toll
would
the Dead.
do with this.
Yeah. So what's the plan?
I'm gonna cast Greater Invisibility.
Okay. You all watch as Hoyd disappears. Is the blade still on
It's
the
a
ground?
4th level.
I haven't picked it up yet.
Okay, Prudence, go ahead and roll to counter.
Oh.
Your counterspell's 3rd level, I believe, right? What's the highest level spell slot you have, Prudence?
We're both 4.
4th? Okay.
I thought you had to beat it, not match it.
No, you have to it's match.
Okay.
If you upcast to 4th level, any spell of 4th level or lower is automatically undone.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Okay. I would. So the reason I asked is, if you didn't have as high, well, you're a wizard, so it doesn't matter. But if you hadn't had, right, you wouldn't have heard of the spell. If you only had 2nd or 3rd level spell slots, for example, and then I would say roll Arcana to figure it out. But you have high enough level spell slots. You've definitely spoken to Hoyd at a minimum about his spells. So, and you've seen him use that spell. So. Okay, so Hoyd, you go to cast your invisibility, and there's a moment, the rest of you watch, where he flickers as Prudence releases the counter spell, and Hoyd's back. Is that your turn, Hoyd?
That is my turn.
Okay. Next up, Shigun.
Oh boy. Prudence is typing. I'll wait for him.
Okay.
The problem is I'm
He says, "Go on. If you don't stab him, you'll never see him again. He'll run away with the sword."
this is difficult because I'm personally unsure what level of aggression we use.
I'm going to attempt to grapple Hoyd. He cannot escape.
Okay. So you,
I'm looking up grappling right now. So
okay. Well, so you make
Oh
an
no,
athletics.
grappling rules.
You make an athletics check.
Uh-huh.
And Hoyd, you make an athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
okay.
Shigun,
rolling at-
You have to meet or beat Hoyd's. Okay. So, Prudence is taking the roll for you and giving you the portent of 19 plus your athletics bonus.
Okay, so my athletics bonus is a +8.
Plus 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So you roll a 27 and to Hoyd's 21. So it's not so Hoyd is like not a incredibly strong individual. He's kind of wiry,
He's
But he-
nimbly.
but he puts up a fight.
Yeah. We're also in a wagon. That doesn't help
I'm
either.
a slippery
Yeah.
fuck.
and you manage to pin him down to the seat that he's right on.
We're not going to kill him, Prudence. We can still defuse this.
So it's one of your attacks. Is that going to be your turn?
How close is the rapier to us?
I believe
I'm
it's
still planning to pick it up.
it's at Hoyd's
Okay.
feet. I believe it would just be
I'm
right at
gonna-
his feet.
I'm gonna do that on my turn.
Okay. I'm going to kick it away from Hoyd off to the side.
Okay. So I'll say that's a free action, just an object interaction. You kick the sword just sort of off toward the back there. Remember, it is a covered wagon, so you can't kick
Yeah.
it off the side. There's no side to kick it off of.
Whatever direction is most convenient to get it away from him, basically.
Yeah, in that case it would be toward the back. So you kick it toward the back of the wagon. And as this happens, you watch Hoyt struggle, not against you, but struggle to reach for the sword.
No, Hoyt, stay down. The sword is not yours anymore.
Yes, it is.
Alrighty. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Zook.
I'm going to use my mage hand to pick up the sword, because I'm not gonna touch it with my actual hands.
Okay. So your mage hand picks the sword up. It is light enough for your mage hand to pick up.
I'm gonna move the mage hand away from the cart. I'm going to ready my bow and order Hoyd to stand down.
Okay. How far can the mage hand go in one round?
And let me check.
Use this D4 in place of the mage
30
hand,
feet.
30
30 feet.
30.
It can go at most 30 feet away from me, so that's where it's
Well,
sitting.
so how far can it... Well, okay. No, it's 20 feet per round, I think. But it can be at most
You can
30
move
feet
the
from
hand
you.
up. You can move the hand up to 30 feet each time you use it.
Oh, it is 30. Okay. Whoop. So, that D4 is where the mage hand is, and I'm gonna shift the map a little bit because I didn't realize how freaking far away that was. You get to see the cardboard that I put my battle map on. Congratulations. And also, deer is just off somewhere. Which Prudence? Okay, deer is off hunting squirrels. Okay, is that your turn, Zook? Ow.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I'm aiming at him, but yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Next up.
Actually, no, I'm gonna ready an action. If he breaks free, I'm shooting him.
So the mage hand, it is an action to control the hand. So you can't ready an attack action, unfortunately.
Okay, so I'm
But
just aiming.
You do have your bow out, and you have an arrow partially nocked.
Hello, our internet dropped for a minute there.
Okay. Well, the sword is over here now,
Okay.
being held by
I
a mage
picked it up.
hand.
It's over.
Yeah,
I picked it up.
and-
It's over there.
And it is Rurik's turn.
The last thing we heard was deer is hunting squirrels or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then you missed nothing then.
Okay.
Okay. Rurik is completely unsure what to make of the situation, to the point where I believe he would be paralyzed by indecision and do nothing.
Okay. So you do nothing this turn. Prudence. Coming back around. Okay. So you step in about there, and you cast Blindness on Hoyd. Constitution, I think. Right?
$15.
So he makes the save. Unfortunately, which is it's nice for a PC to make that save. Questionably nice in this circumstance, but he does make the save. Okay. So AOR range. So stepping into attack of opportunity range, meaning melee. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, so you are where you are then.
I
So
think he's
where you
gonna
are
crowbar me.
is
Are
fine.
you gonna crowbar me?
All right, Hoyd. Man, this
I'm
is a
gonna
lot
struggle
easier.
against the grapple.
This is a lot easier when I don't have any monsters to keep track of initiative, huh?
Yeah, right.
Just one.
Okay, so you're gonna resist. You're gonna
Just one.
You're gonna try and
Yeah.
resist the grapple. Okay. Make,
Athletics to counter it?
Athletics or acrobatics. It's actually, I think it's you'd be making athletics.
Athletics to resist.
Yeah. So you make an athletics athletics check, and Shigun make an athletics check to counter.
Okay.
Or acrobatics, whichever you choose. But I'm gonna guess athletics.
Crap.
Oh no.
I rolled a 1.
Oof. Ooh.
Yeah.
Rough.
Even. Ah, God.
So
I blame the wagon. It's an awkward position to hold someone in.
in a brief moment of it's like faltering ability. Just in that 1 second, Hoyd manages to take advantage of the small opening and just slap right out of your hands. So you are free of the grapple now.
Yeah.
Fish.
I'm going to spend half my movement and get up. Oh wait, do I have that if I'm grappled?
Well, you're not grappled anymore, number 1, but 2, you weren't really prone.
Okay.
I'd say you were like sitting, but that's not the same thing as prone. Getting up from prone is a lot more complex than standing up.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get out of the wagon and go around Prudence, but not leave his.
So you're gonna go out the front. Because these are enemies. You can't walk through them right now.
Oh, gotcha.
You can go out the front if you want, over the horses. Because the horses don't give a fuck.
Probably should.
Don't kill the horses.
No.
Alright, so where are you moving?
I'll go at the front.
Okay. You move out the front.
Next Prudence.
You got 5, 10, 15, 20,
That'll
30. Gets you all the way around. Shigun, if you'd like to make an attack of opportunity as he goes by.
Is it possible to initiate another grapple with that? I don't know how that works.
I don't think so.
Because at this point, I don't want to.
Because it's an attack. It's an attack action. Targeting grapple. If you're able to make multiple attacks, increase one of them. I don't think so, but you can choose to deal non-lethal damage. That is something that you can declare.
Just the neck, though.
Yeah, I don't believe you can grapple as an opportunity attack because it's you have to use the attack action to do it.
I will punch Hoyd.
Okay, so you go and you make an unarmed strike against him. So you go. It's D20 plus strength, no proficiency modifier. And then if you hit, it's 1 plus your strength modifier damage.
Okay. Roll an 18 for my punch.
Yep.
Okay, and you said it was 1 plus the strength mod?
1 plus strength. So is that what,
so
6?
It's 6, yeah.
Okay. So 1 plus strength, you take 6 points of damage just poof, right in the back as you're climbing out of the cart. It knocks
Snap out of it, Hoyd.
It knocks the wind out of you for a second. All right. Okay, is that your turn, Hoyd?
Yeah.
Okay, Shigun.
So he is currently outside of on the other side of the wagon, right?
Correct. Because it's a covered wagon, it's cloth. You can like cut your way through it, but he is currently not visible to you.
Right. Well, I will attempt to follow him off of the wagon and try to initiate another grapple.
Okay. Do you want to go out the front or the back?
I will go out the back to try to cut him off.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 gets you right next to him, and if you want to go and hit another grapple. Go ahead and roll an athletics check. Hoyd, athletics or acrobatics.
This is athletics check. It is a 23.
Okay.
19.
19. Slippery, but not slippery enough. You do manage to grapple him.
Come on, boy. We don't have to do this.
With one of your attacks. You do have another attack if you want to take it.
No, I will refrain from that.
Okay. Okay, is that your turn then?
Is it possible to force him to the ground, like Prudence suggests?
There is a shove action. It doesn't replace one of your... Actually, maybe it does. Let me check.
A lot of these,
so you can actually choose to make a shove action using one of your attacks. So if you want to grapple and then shove, you can do that.
Okay.
Wouldn't that just be a tackle?
I mean, well, whatever works. What would I roll to attempt to shove him and force him to the ground?
So it's actually the same. It's athletics, your athletics versus their athletics or acrobatics.
All right. We will be attempting to do that then. I will try to force him to the ground.
Okay, you're going to attempt to force him prone.
An 11.
What am I competing this with?
I think
athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Yeah.
.24. Okay, you are still grappled, but the shove action fails. You go to force him to the ground, and he manages to. He's not using his raw strength to stand, but he's sort of like driving your force downward into a different direction, and you can't just quite get it. Okay.
All right.
Is that your turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I believe it is Zook's turn now.
Okay, can I move the mage hand without spending an action?
You can move it when you use it, and it's an action to use it in any way.
Okay.
And actually,
so in that case,
let me double check something about your Ledgerman ability.
Legerdemain.
You can use the bonus action granted by your cunning action to control the hand. So you can use a bonus action to control it, which would then move it, and then you have your action to do something else.
Like, I can remove a curse from something. I just don't have it. Yeah. I think Prudence has rope.
Yeah,
someone has rope.
Someone tie Hoyd up.
You know what? Okay, I'm going to spend... I mean, action and bonus action are kind of interchangeable in this context. I'm going to run 50 feet to the northeast, and...
Your speed is 50?
And my speed is 25, but I'm using, like...
Oh, you're using a dash.
Either dash action or a cunning action or something. And
15, 20,
I'm also moving the mage hand to follow me.
50. And you're also controlling them. You're telling the mage hand to follow you. So you
Yeah.
can move it. You can move it up to 30 feet. So 20, 25, 30 gets it there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get some distance, and that's my turn.
Okay. Let me move the map a little bit so you can actually see. Okay. Alrighty. Rurik. Prudence says, you need to knock him out first. He's not going to let us do that.
Would knocking him unconscious, like, mechanically speaking, like putting him at 0 HP, with that, like, that knocks him unconscious, but it doesn't kill him, right?
So when you deal a killing blow, quote unquote, you can declare it as non-lethal. So you can choose to make an attack and make the attack non-lethal. So when you reduce their hit points to, I mean, obviously certain things, rules as written, you can do that with any physical attack, but like, come on, you're not going to do that with a spiked mace. But you know, you can choose any physical attack damage to be non-lethal. So when you reduce their hit points to 0, they are knocked unconscious rather than killed. Alternatively,
rather than death saves.
Alternatively, for a PC, you can just reduce them to 0 hit points using any means, and then when they're at 0 hit points, you stabilize them, which keeps them unconscious but not making death saves. The rules are a little bit fucky when it comes to knocking things out.
Yeah. This is something that I wasn't really prepared to deal with, so I didn't really understand it that well.
I've never been good with
like
either.
Yeah, it's like Flitter said,
the game's kind of not built for that.
It's very hard to unintentionally kill something that you don't want to. There are a lot of tools in your arsenal to do that. So.
Okay. Well, still though, Rurik would not feel very good about doing any sort of aggression, but acquiescing to the severity of the situation, I will cast Hold Person on Hoyd.
Okay, so you'll move to be visible so that he's visible to you first.
Oh, right, the wagon. Yes, I will move out in the wagon, make him visible, and then...
And then you cast Hold Person.
What's the save?
Okay. I want to say Constitution, I think. Or it's a Wisdom. Wisdom save versus... what's your DC?
Wisdom.
16, I think?
16.
16? Okay, Wisdom saving throw.
13.
That is a failure.
Oh!
Hoyd is currently paralyzed. Within your grip, Shigun, you feel Hoyd just lock up and not stop struggling, but stop moving. This isn't the limp. Right. This isn't the limpness of someone giving up. This is he cannot move.
Right.
So if I'm held while grappling with him, and he's also grappled, am I locked in with Shigun? Are we there forever?
Well, no. This only lasts for a minute, or until I can maintain concentration, or you succeed against one of the saving throws at the start of your turn.
I think he's making a gay joke.
Oh.
Is that the start of their turn or at the end of their turn? Is it the end of each of its turns? However, he is currently incapacitated. He automatically fails Strength and Dex saving throws. Attack rolls against him have advantage, and any attack that hits them is automatically a crit.
Yeah. Paralysis.
Because he's incapacitated. So.
Now we can tie him up or otherwise subdue him.
When is your turn coming, Prudence? Rurik, is that your turn?
Yes, that is my turn.
All right, Prudence, now is your turn.
I'm going to like yell that.
Okay, so first roll an attack, just because you have to roll an attack. If you hit, it's a critical, but it has advantage because he's incapacitated.
I'm gonna yell to the extent of like, you know. Like, let me know if you want me to fire. Like, just say the word, you know?
Okay.
We want to subdue him, not, like, make him evaporate.
Dex or strength, yeah, because it's finesse. But you don't have proficiency, I don't think, right?
Don't underestimate my aim like that.
Prudence, you don't have proficiency with any weapons, I don't think. Right? Oh, you do.
I thought they had daggers.
If you have proficiency with simple weapons, it's d20 plus dex plus proficiency, since you have proficiency. Yeah, any attack with a weapon that you have proficiency with has your proficiency bonus.
That works out.
Also, the attack is made at disadvantage. Is made at advantage, rather. So, because he's incapacitated.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
So a 24 will hit. and because you're within melee range, it is automatically a critical hit. So go ahead and roll the dagger's damage.
Technically, we're cheating because we can see his AC.
Yeah. That's the fault.
And my health.
That's the fault of the people who decided to PvP.
Well, me.
Excellent.
So
Take 2 damage.
Plus Dex. So 2 plus what? 3. So it's 2 plus. Your dexterity is plus 2, so it's 2 plus 2 is 4. Crit doesn't double your bonuses. It only doubles the dice. So you take 4 points of piercing damage, and you feel the poison poof, released into you. Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Twenty-three.
He does
that's a
succeed
20.
against the poison, the paralysis poison. Unfortunately, but you are still held, so you are still incapacitated. Okay, is that going to be your turn, Prudence? Well, you take the damage unflinching because you physically can't flinch right now. That said, Hoyd, it is your turn. You're incapacitated. At the end of your turn, make a Wisdom saving throw.
It's a 5.
So you fail again, and you are still held. Shigun, it is now your turn. He's technically still grappled, although it doesn't really matter because he's under the influence of Hold Person, but he is still grappled by you. Prudence says, I have rope and manacles on me.
All right.
That's right, you bought the manacles.
Then bind him up. I'll hold him here.
He's already being
Wait, is
held
this
by
what that was
myself.
for?
Well, they don't call it Dungeons and Dragons for nothing.
Since he's currently held by Hold Person,
Correct.
do I have to make another roll to like continue the grapple, or
No, grappling basically just holds until the creature being grappled breaks it,
okay?
which he can't do because he's paralyzed. You can shove him, and he will automatically fail because he's incapacitated.
So I will go ahead and do that. I will force him to the ground, so that way Prudence or Rurik or Zook or somebody can tie him up and bind him with him.
Okay, so you go and you shove him down because he's paralyzed.
Yeah.
Because in this case this would be a dexterity saving throw. It's weird. So skill checks, right? If it's an acrobatics saving throw or an acrobatics check, it's technically dexterity acrobatics. So this is a dexterity saving throw, so he automatically fails. So you push him down. Do you do anything else this turn?
Other than yell at someone to tie him up.
Princess,
I have
stab
an
him.
idea.
Kick him in the balls.
Other than that, that's my turn. In character, I would not want to risk doing more damage than necessary.
Okay. You look over to Prudence and you see him kick the dirt a little. Oh man. Alrighty. Zook.
Okay, so I happen to have something called grapple arrows.
Yep.
3 layers
that's-
of being held.
It's like that's what I wrote. That's what I wrote. I think it's like a rope tying thing.
I
Is
think it's a
that what it
grappling hook.
Let me double
Okay.
check. I want to say it was a Oh yeah, no, it allows you to do a grapple. I don't think I ended up giving you the full description, so Give me a second to actually get that. I think I forgot to get you the full description. So one moment. I don't have this homebrew on this computer. I have to... Oh, Jesus, I don't know what just fell. I have to go to my other computer now. Hang on. What, really? Do I not have it on this one either? Oh no, it should be on
How
here.
many D&D computers do you have?
I only have 2 in this room.
This implies the existence of other rooms with multiple computers.
Alright, well I can't find it. But basically, I believe it's a DC 15 strength saving throw to avoid being grappled at a distance, but he automatically fails because he's incapacitated. What fell? I heard something fall off my desk, and I don't see anything around my desk. Anyway.
And I'm, also my note says extra damage. But I'm just firing this for the grapple effect.
Yes, so that, well, the extra damage would be, it's an additional, 1d4 bludgeoning.
Okay, so I'm gonna fire I'm gonna fire a grapple arrow.
Sorry,
at
not bludgeoning.
Hoyd.
Piercing because of the claws on it. Okay. With your, what is the short range on your longbow? A short bow, rather. What's the short range on your short bow?
Let me look at the PHB 1 second. 80.
Oh, okay, you're fine then. Yeah.
So I'm gonna... Do I have advantage on this?
Yeah, attack rolls against them have advantage. And then if you hit, they have to make a strength saving throw, but he fails, so. Although, because he's prone, he would have disadvantage, so it cancels out. It's just a straight roll.
Oh. So, I just D20, then.
Okay. Yeah, 25 hits. So, go ahead and roll the piercing damage.
26
because you can't not do
plus
it.
24 plus
Dexterity.
5.
Okay. Hoyd, you take 12 points of piercing damage.
Wasn't that a crit?
It's a crit if it's a melee attack.
Oh, okay.
Attacks made from melee on an incapacitated creature are crits if they hit. And make a strength saving throw. Oh wait, you can't. You fail. You are currently bound by the grapple arrow. So the rope is... it's not like a magic rope that ties you up, but it's sort of... There's the arrow that clamps into your skin and holds you in place. And then now there's a length of rope to tie him up with, conveniently.
So... being like... So, Hoyd is currently being pinned by a fighter, is magically paralyzed, and also tied up, and is gonna be tied up another time.
Well, he's not currently tied up. So the way the grapple arrow works, right? So the grapple status means your speed is reduced to 0, and that's it. The grapple arrow is basically a hook that clamps into them, and then you hold them in place if they try to move away. Mechanically, it also works even if they try to move forward, because that's just how grapple works, and we're hand waving it. But that's the explanation of the item anyway. It is a mundane item. It is not a magic item.
Ah, okay.
But you now have a whole length of rope already attached to him. So
at this point, we've got so many layers of restraint on him that we've basically got a mundane version of like a high-level sealing ritual going on.
Yeah, this is like a Wonder Woman comic.
I didn't I didn't know Christian Grey was going to be part of this party.
Bad.
Alrighty. So, I'll say, before the end of the next full round, Zook, is that your turn?
That's basically my turn, yes.
Okay. Rurik, are you doing anything this turn, or just maintaining?
Am I able to like move around and do things while maintaining concentration?
Yeah, oh yeah, you can do anything except cast another spell that requires concentration. And you still maintain concentration. You could even cast another spell, as long as it does not require concentration.
I still don't feel like attacking him.
Got a big old hammer.
I mean, you could heal him.
I do. Like it might be fun to you, but I have no desire to attack a.
You could heal him. That arrow did some hurt.
I mean, he'll be fine.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
want
but
to
you
make
could
it
heal him
worse.
now and just like get ahead of the game.
Also, what Prudence said. Anyway, I will approach Prudence and request the manacles, and I will attempt to affix them to his wrist behind him.
Okay, so you request the manacles, and then
wrist, so.
and then Prudence, your next turn. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna just call that the end of combat because it's Prudence's turn now, and that stuff is happening. Up. We go over here. All right. So at that, by the end,
conclusively answered the question of whether Hoyd will escape.
So by the end of this, you've got about 45 more seconds left on the hold person. Hoyd is bound, has manacles attached to. Do you have two sets? So it's ankles and wrists. No, it's just the one set. So it's around his wrists or ankles?
Wrists.
Wrists?
It was wrists.
I did say wrists, but I didn't think about that. I could do feet instead.
Keep in mind.
It is wrist manacle? Okay.
It's a wrist manacle. Okay. Oh, it's not large enough for the
yeah.
Keep in mind he's still a bard.
Gag him too.
Okay. You take some spare cloth and you gag him as well. And
just so we can't do some word magic bullshit out of this.
I assume I can recover my grapple arrow from this.
Yes. You as the hold person is wearing off and Hoyd regains control over his body, he finds himself manacled, tied, gagged, and you walk up
And fighter.
and you're still pinning him, I guess.
It'd be a shame if this was his kink.
And you come up.
Right.
And are you particularly gentle pulling the grapple arrow free? This is one of the very few circumstances where you may actually be able to retrieve it. Other ones, it would get destroyed on impact.
Zook dropped for a second there.
Yes.
Okay. Are you particularly gentle in retrieving your arrow?
I'll try to be.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, taking your time as much as you can while Hoyd struggles, you carefully pull back the claws and retract it. This is one of the very few times where you may actually be able to retrieve them. Most other times, it'll probably be destroyed, just because creatures landing on it and stuff. So, you now have a fully trussed-up Hoyd.
Prudence said a thing, by the way.
You're the cleric, Rurik. Do you not have something to identify, remove curses? I assume the sword. I'm going to leave the D4 over there. I assume, even though it's out of range and the mage hand has disappeared, I assume that's about where the sword is still.
Well, I mean, I'll bring it back.
Yeah, I I certainly do. It's just I don't have anything prepared at the moment. It will take me some significant time to do the needful and readjust my spells in such a way that I'll be able to ascertain this.
Do the needful?
We can either...
Really?
What?
Do the needful? Really?
What?
Did you not even realize you said that?
Is that a bad thing to say?
No, it's not. It's just... Anyway,
I'm
later.
confused.
I'm super confused. Why is that the thing?
Is this a reference to
The
something?
phrase "doing the needful" is not an English phrase. It's a reference to broken English, like tech support, Indian tech support specifically.
I did not know that.
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't.
Well,
No, I hang up on Indian tech support scammers.
you're one of
I've heard
today's.
people at work use that phrase.
You're one of today's.
Hold on, wait a minute. I watch like a lot of scam bait content, and I don't know what that is.
Anyway, so we're getting to the end of the. Wait, we're already past the end of the session. So, but
You know what I mean?
I mean, I've heard each and everything. So
are you? Okay. So, just to wrap this up, where's the sword going to be?
I'm giving it to Prudence.
Okay.
Oh.
You can identify it. Hopefully not get cursed by it.
So Zook,
That was the original idea.
You hand the sword to Prudence.
I levitated over because I'm not touching it.
Okay. You do. I mean, Prudence does have to be in contact with the sword, so in order to identify it. So he spends 10 minutes and a minute identifying, or 10 minutes and an action identifying, and the description in notes and stuff channel is what you get. You know the name of it, you know what it does, and you know everything in that block. Okay.
We also need to check if it's cursed.
Yes, that's what I'll be working on. I just don't have the ability to do that right this moment.
Okay.
And we need to grab some dinner shortly, so...
Well, so, no, in order to change spells as a cleric, that's something you do at the end of a long rest.
Like, there's a ritual and stuff involving, like, prayer and whatnot, and it involves that, but the rules as written do specify that it would be following a long rest.
Yeah, I mean, there was a 3...
Really
there was a
inconvenient, but I get it.
There was a 3.5 rule that let you do that, but that's been dispensed with in 5th edition, so...
Yeah, I was really hoping I would just be able to, like, spend an hour in prayer and change out a spell slot or something.
A long rest doesn't require sleep, does it?
It does. 8 hours of rest, 6 of which must be sleep.
Okay, never mind.
Unless you're an elf, in which
wait
case
a minute. Hold on. I'm double checking.
4 hours.
I'm gonna
anyway,
double check.
Because we're past the end of our time by almost a half hour, we are going to go ahead and close the session there. Boy! Alright, so the next Thursday session is going to be on the 18th of February. It's going to be same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm also running a Monday group that's going to be coming up this Monday on the 8th, and they start at 6 p.m. Eastern. They're on a spaceship. So,
What?
What?
Who said that?
Monday group.
Who said that?
Monday group. Fucking...
As always, thank you guys for coming and playing, and thank you guys so much for coming and watching. I got that backwards. I'm tired. Good night.